You strong.
What is up, party people? Roster the people. Week 8, here it is. It's another Thursday, and we are back to help you set your lineups, answer your questions, and get you ready to weather another super fun week as the fantasy football gods put us through our trials and tribulations. Jason Draven, Jordan McDonald, Neil Smith. Jason, welcome back. How you doing today, buddy?
Another day, man. It's been a rough one. So there's a lot of questions tonight for, I'm sure, Gus and Bateman and all the other injuries going on. So I'm more excited to get into that than anything else.
I sympathize with that. Jordan, how you doing, big guy?
I'm doing pretty well. Just another day of helping the folks with their fantasy lineups. Great way to spend your Thursday nights. And
You got that right. All right, so here we go, folks. We're gonna set this up here. Remember, we have bye weeks for the Chiefs and the Chargers. And Jordan, kick us off. Let's get some questions going.
So Skylar asks, obviously Thursday night questions take precedent. Gino or Tom Brady? Right away, I'm gonna say don't trust Tom Brady. It could be a get right game. Don't think it'll be against the Ravens on Thursday night. Gino's been looking good. I think that's gonna be a high scoring game. I go Gino.
I agree. I also go Gino. This is don't get me wrong, I think Brady throws it just fine, but this is not the ideal matchup for him. And the Ravens actually have been looking pretty decent on defense. So
I get the question. I have them separated by one spot in my rankings, but I'm giving the nod to Gino because I hate playing people on Thursday night because Thursday night football is an abomination that should be canceled. Moving on. Next question.
So Skylar asks again, do I bench Fournette to play Walker and Tony Pollard over him? Yes, and yes. I am benching Fournette tonight to play Raheem Mostert.
Ken Walker. Sorry, my brain is fried.
Just to tell you how I feel about Fournette, I'm starting Mostert over him, and Walker and Pollard are definitely better than Mostert this week anyways, so absolutely yes and yes.
I agree with that 100%. I like Walker and Pollard. Both the matchups are excellent. Fournette is probably going to be fine. I prefer him over all the other RBs tonight.
That's a tough one. Well, it's mostly because Fournette's the only thing I actually do feel like you could count on with Tampa Bay here. But you're playing Walker. That one's not debatable. Walker's a volume machine at this point, and it's not a great matchup against the Giants, but you can't justify sitting him at this point. So really, you're talking about Pollard versus Fournette, and for me, I'm going to give the slight edge to Fournette over Pollard on that one, mostly because we don't think Zeke's going to play, but we don't know that yet. So I'd probably still have to stick to my guns for one more week. But I will say this: if there was ever a week you were going to sit Fournette down, this is the week to do it because it's Thursday night football. And the Buccaneers have looked terrible. Honestly, Fournette is the number one thing I want to trade away off my team if I have him at this point. So that's because you can still get something. So I would like to. They've been dreadful. Next question.
Thomas Dodson, what's up, guys? I kind of brought this up this morning in the Discord. Just pick up Danny Dimes for Lamar's bye, but strongly considering starting Jones over Lamar this week. Jason and I were kind of discussing this before the show. I say stick with Lamar. I know it's Thursday, but Lamar's Lamar is your guy. You drafted him to start him and forget about it. I know Danny Dimes has looked good, has a great matchup. I'm still sticking with Lamar, and I know Jason's probably going to be on the other side of the coin.
I am. I believe in Daniel Jones this week. He is one of my favorite streamers this week for a reason, and I actually think that comparing the two of the games, I think that the Giants game is more likely to get out of control for scoring-wise. I don't see that happening with this game. I just feel like both these quarterbacks are kind of struggling, and while Lamar is Lamar, I completely understand that. I could also see him just handing it off, and that hurts him when it comes to his red zone touches and touchdowns in general. And so that's more of a scary idea for me.
Can't justify benching Lamar. He's too good. Daniel Jones is a nice story, but no, I can't justify sitting down my set it and forget it huge investment at quarterback. So can't do it.
Next question, our friend Kevin Bird, Hot PPR, pick 2, Rashad Bateman, Darrell Henderson, and James Conner. James Conner, I don't know what the update is on him. Even if he does play, I mean, what can you really expect at this point? Bateman, I mean, he's a little bit hurt coming into this game. I know we're talking about don't play your Thursday guys, but like I still like Bateman over Connor. I think Henderson's the easy one. He's the starting running back for the Rams right now without Akers. It's not much behind him right now, and I would probably go Bateman over Connor.
That's how I have it. Bateman and Henderson, mostly because, like you said, Henderson is getting the touches, and it is a tough matchup because they are going against the 49ers, but the fact that they're coming off a bye makes me a little more hopeful for the Rams to get things going.
It's not a hard choice. You can't start James Conner. Next question.
Michael Matthews, do I start Gus Edwards tonight or Singletary this weekend? I'll probably go Singletary. I think that the Bills can get ahead and they'll start running the ball a lot more. I don't know what that backfield's going to look like beyond Singletary. Moss has been out of the running recently before the bye. James Cook, still rookie, still needs to get through that bumps. So I'd go Singletary.
Yeah,
it's Singletary. It's not close. You don't know what you're going to get out of Gus Edwards tonight. He might score twice and put up another 16. He might put up a 4. They're talking about load management with him. They're talking about it's a short turnaround, and he was the only one that could do anything. Kenyon Drake flamed out immediately. He had one good game and then flamed out. Justice Hill is bad. So there you go. I get the Gus Edwards thing, but Devin Singletary quietly should be on your trade target list as you are building your playoff roster. And I want to throw up in my mouth just saying that sentence out loud. And I'm also conscious that I'm being recorded. None of that is felt right or good because we've been burned by this conversation for years. But here's the reality of the situation. The Bills have a top 5 schedule for running backs the rest of the way down the stretch. Zach Moss is not dressing. He's a healthy scratch every week again because he's Zach Moss. James Cook is a rookie and had 2 carries last week. It's Singletary's job, as gross as it is, and he is getting 80% of all the meaningful running back touches on a team that is successfully moving the football. Running back is a tragedy this year. It's like a Greek tragedy that has just got no happy ending. It's all sad. And because of that, Singletary kind of has to be considered in that way. He is an RB2 every week moving forward. So in other weeks, if we were talking about a Sunday, this is more of a conversation. But for this week with Edwards playing on Thursday, still rehabbing, it's Singletary. Next question. Moving on.
This one is a deep question. PPR, Rachaad White tonight, or I'm going to assume Latavius Murray, just based on the basis of where Rachaad White, the tier that they're at. If that's the case, if it's Latavius, I'm going Latavius. I don't know, like that's a backfield that it doesn't seem to establish. Number one, Melvin Gordon seems to be out of the mix. And Latavius Murray seems to be getting some more ground, no pun intended. Mike Boone's hurt. And again, Rachaad White, we don't know what to expect tonight. It's a crapshoot. It's Thursday Night Football. I would avoid it. I'd pick the guy not playing tonight.
I agree.
I have Latavius Murray over Rachaad White in my rankings by 4 spots. So if you want to be literal about it, then just play Latavius Murray. I will say this. If I was desperate and I thought I was going to lose, which you might be if you're staring down this kind of question, I might just throw Rachaad White in there anyway. Because if I thought I was going to lose, there's a non-zero chance this game goes sideways. And they keep talking about they're going to get Rachaad White more involved every single week. And he does incrementally creep up every single week. So if I needed some sort of home run pass catching type situation, something weird happens, I might just play Rachaad White. Because you're talking about my running back 37 versus my running back 41. So if you need something safe, play Murray. Risky, play White for the upside.
Another thing would be if you get return yards, I'd play White.
Oh yeah, that would swing it for sure. But
just something to add in just in case.
That'd be kind of random, but fair.
It happens. That's why I threw it out there.
does. It does. We've had some questions about that recently. Next question, Jordan.
I want to say just before I answer this question, if you guys could please put the full name.
Yeah,
just
for
our
even like
sake.
R period or first initial period, it would tremendously help.
Anyway, so Gus, I'm assuming Gus pick 2 half PPR. Gus Edwards. I'm going to assume Brian Robinson, Aaron Jones.
That's where it gets messy because it could be James Robinson.
There you go. So
it doesn't matter because you're playing Aaron Jones and DeAndre Swift, and we're going to wrap this quickly. I can't see any scenario where you're not playing Aaron Jones and DeAndre Swift.
Fixing it on Twitch. Rachaad White, I assume, or Gus Edwards tonight. Oh God.
Edwards.
I'm going to go Edwards as well.
Yeah, this one I'm going Edwards. That's way different than
found it.
talking about Murray. That's
Yeah. I think that is it for Thursday nights.
whip back to the top, and I'll double check for you. Let's keep going.
But yeah, okay, let's get into some other questions. Thomas Dodson, again, pick one running back, Zeke pending health, Montgomery, Dante Foreman, Hubbard missing his second straight practice.
Foreman. You know you have to say it. Just say it.
Well,
Yes.
I really don't think Zeke's gonna play.
Correct.
I think it's Montgomery and Foreman easily. And that's it. That's just
pick one.
Oh, pick one. Sorry, so that was
Yep.
pick two. I'd go Foreman. I liked what I saw from Foreman.
And the matchup is.
And
the
yeah,
important part of
they're
that.
playing a pretty weak defense with the Falcons. Montgomery, I think he's losing ground to Herbert. I'd just like Foreman better.
Okay, no, I'm not going there with you yet. It's Donta Foreman had one of the luckiest usage rates and one of the luckiest. He was not involved in the passing game. It was the luckiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Whereas David Montgomery, I agree with you, he is losing ground to Khalil Herbert, and that's the future. As someone who lives and breathes the Bears, as sad as that is, that's the writing's been on the wall on that. It's Herbert is the future. Montgomery's probably going to get dealt at the trade deadline. Wouldn't shock me at all if they could find a suitor for that. Because it's the last year of his contract. He's going to be no longer in Chicago moving forward pretty quickly. But for me, you're talking about evaluating flexes. And for me, I still have David Montgomery as a high end flex. Donta Foreman is more of a mid tier, low end flex. So I'm gonna ride with David Montgomery for one more week.
All right. Sorry,
By the way, real quick, not to break the fourth wall here, but did you get AZ Fire breaks?
Yeah, he mentioned his question, but he said he got it answered.
Oh, okay.
Somebody in the Discord or on the app got him.
All right, good.
Sorry, Eagle 175. Should I still roster Michael Carter with the James Robinson trade? Absolutely. James Robinson doesn't know the playbook yet. Carter will still have relevance for now. In a couple weeks, we'll see, but absolutely now, hold on to him.
Yeah, you definitely need to have him.
I can't imagine there's anything better on the waiver wire. So yeah, for at least 2 weeks.
For now.
For at least 2 weeks, Michael Carter is on your team. I'd be trying to trade Michael Carter, by the way. If I'm you, I'm praying to God Michael Carter puts up some sort of stupid 20 this weekend so I can fleece somebody into taking him off my hands so I don't have to deal with it anymore.
Skilo, YouTube not working. There are people asking YouTube, so I assume it is working. Kevin Bird again, Dak or Geno?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh,
Geno.
That's a good one.
Mostly because I'm so nervous that Dak isn't just going to be able to go, oh, here you go.
No, I think I'm going to go Dak. I like Geno. I know I said I liked the matchup, but he is missing DK Metcalf, which is going to give him a bit of a it's going to lower him for me a little bit. I'm still going to go Dak.
It's Dak.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, cool.
So that makes me nervous.
Cool story about Geno, but no, it's Dak.
Yep. Thomas Dodson again. I see this is in relation to high scoring game versus the Giants. I don't think I can stomach with sitting Lamar. He goes off. Thanks again. That's what we're here for. Sorry, Eagle. I'm still really high on Lamar, but someone just offered me Herbert next year's first sim. Should I part Lamar with that? Ooh.
I'm sorry. How do you read this? That can't mean.
So he is sending. He's
sending
Herbert
Lamar
and
to
next year's
somebody
first for Lamar.
I'd probably take that. That's it. Well, it depends on where the first. I mean, assume the guy giving the first is like.
I'm assuming first round, not 1.1, but like some sort of first round pick is how I'm understanding you. Yeah, I do that.
I'd probably do that too.
Yeah, I do that. If you're gonna give me it does depend slightly on what the first round pick is. Like if you're offering me the 1.12, I'm less excited about this, to be honest. But even with that, probably gonna take it because Justin Herbert is younger. And he's in a situation where he's not as likely to get killed because he runs, but he doesn't have to run as much. So I'd probably deal with the slightly lower ceiling of Herbert if I could get an.
It also depends on if you're a win this year or a future play. Like if you're not going to win this year, I would sell Lamar, but that would be the only kind of deciding factor outside of that.
But I would also see like what else you can get for him. I mean, if that's like the top of the like that's the best you can get, then great. But you could probably get more. Someone will probably want Lamar and give you the whole farm for him. But on the face. I think that's good. Michael Matthews, appreciate it. No worries. Thanks for asking questions. Thomas Dodson again, 5-2, 10-team PPR, looking to possibly offer Kupp and Montgomery for AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley to a 2-5 team. My wide receivers are Lamb, Kupp, Davis, Lazard, Wandale. Running backs are Zeke, Monty, Walker, Dylan, Foreman. Thoughts? Okay, well, let's just look at the trade. Kupp and Demont versus AJ Brown and Barkley. If I'm the other guy, I'm not giving that up. AJ Brown, Barkley are like top 5 of their positions, arguably this year. Barkley is. I think AJ Brown can get there. Montgomery, as you say, he's losing favor. You might have to sweeten the deal a little bit more. I know Kupp's been great, but I don't think it's enough. I think you might have to give more if you want those 2 players.
Yeah, Thomas, I think so the way the trade would work is great. So the person's theoretically going to move up a little bit from AJ Brown to Kupp, but they're taking a pretty serious hit from Saquon Barkley to David Montgomery. And there's no way on earth anybody. I mean, feel free to offer whatever you like. Like, 'cause you know your league better than we ever will. So feel free to make the offer, but I would not be surprised if that got shot down. So you're probably going to have to up your offer if that's something you actually want to do.
Yeah. Fixing it. Thanks. Thank you. Also, X the Bird Flu 511. Thanks for the Twitter help. I assume that's for Jason.
Always got you.
Sorry, Eagle
No.
175. Is
Reliable.
Tony real? Not right now.
I would argue that none of those words are correct. Reliable, flex, or option. None of those words are correct. All wrong.
I would pick him up
after week 12, maybe.
No, if he's on your waiver wire, pick him up now. But don't think of starting him until you see. You got to see it. You got to see something.
I don't even know that I could recommend picking him up without knowing.
Really?
What your team is. I need to know what your team is.
Yeah.
What are you cutting?
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
You got to understand how little I think of Kadarius Toney. I'm the guy there's footage of when he was drafted. It like fried my brain because there's no way he deserved to be a first round pick. The man can't even learn a playbook. What good are you? Then we'll get into that later at some point in a full breakdown type of way. But
Sparky Klutz, thanks guys. Justin Adeline, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Rather roster AJ Dillon or Kyron Williams. Oh God,
Williams.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I guess it's not.
Well,
fair.
Williams is a stash. Like, I mean, he's not even off IR yet.
Yeah.
Like, Dillon, you have
issue is-
something. It's not a lot.
You're
but
hoping
it's
somebody you trade Dillon. That is what you're hoping happens. And even then, I still think I want Williams just to be safe. You're hoping for what you shouldn't
There's no
be.
guarantee
Injury
he'll even see
or-
the field, man. There's no guarantee that he'll have like reasonable snaps.
You mean
It's just
Dillon?
because
Yeah, I
Cam
agree.
Akers is out.
No. Okay, this is a classic. The nerd overreacts to something that we've never seen actually happen before.
Yep.
AJ Dillon's been bad. There's no way. There's no sugarcoating that.
How
He's been
bad
hideous.
is he? Sorry.
I almost made a joke that would have had to. I'm glad that I realized we're live at the.
Those are the best jokes,
last
though.
at the last second. I realized this is not pre-recorded.
All right.
But no, here's what I can tell you. Like AJ Dillon has been terrible, and within that, he's still, because this is the state of running back at this point. He's still like in the 30s, the low 30s at running back, because running back is a disaster. There's only like 40 startable running backs at any given moment. And even within that, Kyron Williams is not even close because he's still not playing. Right? And then when he does get back, we have no idea what his job is. He might have the exact same problems AJ Dillon has. You're trading something that you at least know what it is for the complete unknown. And while I understand that has some level of appeal because the thing that you know is bad, right? I get the logic. The thing that I know is bad, why don't I just cut it? Because maybe the thing, but the range of outcomes is too severe. Because what you could actually be doing is getting something worse than the AJ Dillon situation that you're in. What I would rather do is roster neither of them and try to trade AJ Dillon for whatever realistically that I think I can get. And before we go to the next question, let's do this real quick because I think this is probably more informative for this question.
RB 35 on the year.
Who?
AJ Dillon.
Fine, and that's probably about right. That's not the most scientific way to figure out future performance, right? But let's play a game. Would you rather, if you could trade AJ Dillon straight up for the following players, you tell me if you would do it. You tell me, right? Ready? James Robinson for AJ Dillon. You doing that deal?
I want Robinson. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
All right. Let's see here. AJ Dillon or Antonio Gibson. This one
Gibson.
should be easy.
Yeah, I would
easy
probably
for
do that.
me.
I probably
I'm making it easier. Like,
yeah.
you should be doing the Gibson one. But think about that, right? Just narrative against narrative. This is why we don't tell you to don't listen to the narratives. Because narrative on narrative, Gibson's terrible and Dillon's terrible. So that's a deal you could actually do. My problems for your problems. Like, you could literally make that deal happen. Let's do a couple more. Let's do a couple more.
I think if you have Thursday questions, bring them in. We got about 14 minutes for kickoff.
Yeah, do that. I thank you, Jordan.
Polo Ched, of course. Evening, guys. Super fan Polo Ched. We love you.
Real quick, one more, Jordan, before we completely blow past it. James Conner or AJ?
Oh God.
Your mic's off, man. I think you blew it.
Oh, my mic's not off.
No, I'm talking to Neil.
Yeah, I probably would hold on to Dillon because I mean, if Jones, knock on all the wood, goes down, Dillon certainly becomes. I know it's not a great offense right now, but he will get his touches, and you got to hope that he was in such good favor before. Hopefully, they can fix something. I think it's more on the offensive line than it is AJ Dillon. That's just me, but I still think Dillon should have value. Hopefully down the stretch.
I would still go Conner here. I mean, just because of the fact that Hopkins is back, that offense actually looked like it could maybe do something. So I'd be kind of interested just because of that. But I don't like either of them. So that's not true. I really love Dillon.
Now let's take one last step into the mud here. Why would I waste everyone's time ostensibly having that conversation? There's a method to the madness. Let's play that same game with Kyren Williams. What could I trade Kyren Williams for? Oh, wait, nothing, because no one knows what that is. So why would I cut something that I could trade into a more valuable piece to pick up a guy that no one knows what it is for no reason? Do you understand why my tone is so poor with you? Let's move on.
Oh, that was beautiful. X the Bird Flu 501, is Odell a worthy stash pickup? It depends on who you're dropping, how deep your league is, because we have no indication when he'll sign. If he'll sign, I think he will, but
what he looks like.
Well, I can see him signing with the team and not starting to the playoffs, like the actual playoffs, not the fantasy playoffs, like actual playoffs. Yeah, it depends on if you have the space. That's my answer.
I think it's too early. I mean, maybe if you have some kind of like open roster spot and there's literally nothing else, okay. But I think we're still 3 weeks away from this conversation about where is he going to sign, right? What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I've been telling people that because Wan'Dale Robinson is still more available than Odell Beckham Jr. in your leagues, which is frustrating. I'm tired of it. Odell should not be more rostered.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
Wan'Dale's playing football.
Thank you.
So
that's
irrefutable. Wan'Dale will be playing on Sunday. Odell will not be. So
okay. Ryan Keel with a DST question. Colts or Rams? Should I recuse myself? No, I'm kidding. So Colts are playing the Commanders with Taylor Heineke, and Rams are playing the 49ers. I would go Colts. Heineke, he's a gunslinger, if you want to call him that. Loves to throw the ball, whether he gets picked off or not. Loves to throw suey passes to his receivers. Colts have a good defense. They do. That's the one thing why they're like at 500.
Yeah,
surprising. Matt Ryan,
like a Nerf gun or something to talk about Taylor Heineke. It's the Colts. It's close. It's two spots in my rankings, but I would prefer the Colts. Rams defense against the 49ers. You want to know what I'm concerned about mostly at the separator for me is Christian McCaffrey having another week to learn the offense. I'd rather not deal with it.
Yeah,
that's the rail splitter for me.
Oh, sorry, Jason. I don't know if you answered that.
Yeah, I said Colts. You're good.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, clean sweep for Colts.
Yeah,
Kevin Bird, you guys rock. Thanks. Fixing it again. Hunter Renfrow or Michael Carter for flex PPR.
Carter.
I'm gonna go Carter too, just because the opportunity will be there. I know.
I'm not convinced Renfro's actually playing still.
Yeah,
he's still beat up.
And even if he does play, I don't see a lot of action.
Adam's dealing with illness. Waller
they're all
beat up.
They're all hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's hurt.
Yeah, but even when Renfro was playing, you weren't getting much anyways.
You're getting 3 to 5 targets.
Yeah, how many third downs do they have? in the entire game. That's literally. You think I'm being like a jerk about it? I'm not. Like it's literally that bad.
Thomas Dodson is adding on more to his trade. They also have Dalvin Cook. They also
this.
have
Okay.
Higgins, Waddle.
I'm not changing. We're not changing our answer.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not changing our answer. We will refer you back to our original statement. That is not changing my choice.
Actually, what you should do is go here
Yeah,
and join the
go-
Discord.
That is true. Do that.
You'll get a
Join
lot
the
more insight
Discord.
there.
We'll gladly break this down step by step.
You can post screenshots of the teams. We can work on it in a non-time gated way.
Sorting Eagle, I'd put Tony on the taxi squad until he proves himself.
Well, you never said you had a taxi squad.
Works great. Perfect.
If you have a taxi squad, do that. That's great. I have no problem if you want to put them on your taxi.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's a
great
whole
spot
different
for them.
animal.
Justin responds back with his AJ Dillon thing. I'm also a Vikings fan. It's gross having Packers on my team. Don't blame you. I don't blame you, man.
You got to bury that, man. You're making me laugh, but you got to bury that. You got to bury that prejudice. Like,
Matt Trav 22 PPR start. Brian Robinson to Gus Edwards.
oh, that's a fun one.
Robinson.
That's like a real question.
I'm actually going Robinson. Not even.
Yeah, I'll go Robinson too. Like the Bucks have a great. Like I know we saw they got shredded last week by Foreman and Hubbard, but I go Robinson too.
Just because he's putting up 60, 70 yards or a touchdown. Like,
well,
it's hard to
not
beat that.
even. I'm not even super excited about the 60 yards or a touchdown.
That's still more than 5 points.
Well, it is. It is more than 5 points. Although he keeps getting lucky to dance his way into double digits. Here's what I'll say. I'm worried about Gus Edwards' usage here in the next 10 minutes because they've already been talking about it all week that he hasn't been practicing. They're going to load manage him because they need him for the season at this point because they believe that's going to be their guy. So they've been very open about, and now of course they'll say that he's gonna have 30 carries, but that's what they're saying right now. I am a little worried about it on a short week on a Thursday game with his only second actual football game of this season. Whereas Brian Robinson, he is averaging 20 touches plus every game, and they don't cur. They don't cur. It's here's your football. Go whatever we get, we get. So for me, I think it's going to be clean sweep Brian Robinson. Largely just based on volume. Just opportunities.
That is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Thomas again with another defensive question. Titans or Bengals?
I don't remember who the Titans are playing.
Titans play
I can tell
the
you.
Houston Texans, and I'm going to go with the Titans.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Kevin. Get out of here. Go on. Go on. Get out of here. I'm sorry.
That's
Back to Thomas's question.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll go Titans.
We love you, Kevin.
You're fine. Yeah, it's probably Titans.
Even though I am scared for that, it is in Houston. I wouldn't be
It
surprised.
is Titans.
Mostly
Titans.
because of the fact
Clean
that
sweep Titans.
Collins may not be playing. Doesn't look like he's going to play. Makes that a little more interesting.
I agree. Clean sweep on the Titans though.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because the Titans is not a good defense. So I do want to point that
They've
out.
looked decent.
Yeah, but on balance, not a good defense.
No, thank you, Matt Trav. Thank you.
Definitely
And
appreciate you
if
guys coming
I
on here.
am just gonna go do a queen sweep. I think we are done every question. I think we went
Yeah,
through it.
I'm following along with you. We are good. So we're going to pause that part of the show for a moment. You have 5 minutes to get your Thursday night questions to us. 5. And then we will stop what we are doing and make it a point to answer those. Exactly. That's exactly how I had to do it too.
That's like
You're doing the Popovich?
Yeah. We don't talk about Greg Popovich on this show. That's not true. That's not true. We'll be happy to talk about Greg Popovich. Let's just real quick. We'll do some game breakdowns here while we wait for some more questions to roll on through, and we will do real quick since Thursday Night Football is about to start. We'll break it down for you. Ravens at Bucks -1.5 for the Ravens is what the odds makers are saying. Whole lot of noise about injuries for this game that frankly is not going to matter because they've been talking about it all week. But you should have your full complement of Ravens, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, Gus Edwards. They should all be playing, despite the fact that nobody really seemed to practice this week whatsoever. On the other side of the ball, fantasy zombie / not fantasy zombie / fantasy zombie again. Julio Jones will be returning this week from basically the first game of the season where he hurt his hip and hasn't been seen since. So we'll see if that matters. Russell Gage and Cameron Brate are both out, but aside from that, you will have everyone else in what I don't know what to tell you about this game, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's good.
it
It's
could be-
scary.
It could be fine. It could be really ugly because it's Thursday Night Football, and we don't know. And the Buccaneers have been struggling. It's insanely well documented. Tom Brady looks like he's going through a midlife crisis. I said looks like, by the way, so that's
Hey,
not
we
slander, 'cause that's
mentioned
my
that last
opinion.
week.
Yeah, I've been mentioning it on every platform. No amount of midlife crisis hats is gonna stop it. Like,
Oh.
no 45-year-old just starts wearing.
We have a
good.
Thursday
do have
question.
questions.
Full PPR: Bateman, Robinson, Khalil Herbert, Naeem Hines need one.
That's fun.
I don't like it.
I
It
like
makes me feel
Herbert.
dirty.
Yeah, so do I.
That would be where I would go, I guess. Golly, that's rough though.
It's either
Sorry,
Herbert or
man.
it's Bateman.
Yeah, that's the coin
I'm
flip right
eliminating
there.
your other options. Your other two options are
Yeah,
no to
Yeah.
either one. You're talking
I
about
go- I
Bateman
would-
or Herbert.
The guy not playing tonight. I agree. Gus or Najee or
Jordan
wait
understands
on
my
Eno.
madness. Not playing
Um,
Thursday Night players if I can avoid it.
I'd be okay with Najee.
Who
I
does-
really would.
My.
I know he's not
Oh,
great.
My.
but it's against the Eagles.
yeah.
That's
mean,
the
like-
issue with Najee. I
Uh,
would play Gus because he is playing tonight, and we're not sure on the other two. Like Eno might play, but he would potentially be splitting with Connor, and that makes me nervous.
Let me go.
You know
I
what?
gotta
I'm at the
actually-
point now where I am a very sour Najee.
I know, but
Harris roster, and he'll be 1 week he'll go off. Okay, we got more coming through. I don't know if
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna answer your question real quick, and I'm gonna. It's sour and it's salty, and I hate it, but it is Najee. It's not great, but it goes back to the Thursday night short week weird usage thing with Gus Edwards. We just don't know what that'll be, which is that's the only one. That's the only rail splitter I can offer you.
Mike Brillhart, we answered this.
We've already done this
and,
question.
Yeah, we're all except for Jason actually.
2 out of the
Yep.
3 of us will tell you Lamar. Jason will tell you Daniel Jones.
Skyler, Godwin, or Amon-Ra. I don't think
Ooh.
Amon-Ra's playing, is he?
No, he's playing.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's-
that's TBA.
yeah.
But he is so far. There's a conversation about did he have a concussion or not have a concussion. He got yanked out of the game because they said he had concussion-like symptoms, but it was determined even at the game that he did not suffer a concussion.
Correct.
So he's actually he's been practicing all week
In full.
in full. Well, the first practice he was wearing a red no contact jersey, so limited and then in full. But Dan Campbell is adamant that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to clear the protocol and play this weekend. So obviously Dan Campbell is not a doctor, nor does Dan Campbell have any incentive to tell you the truth. And anyone who rosters DeAndre Swift will know what I'm talking about. Dan Campbell ain't your friend. He's not coming to the cookout. He's not going to tell you things you want to hear. He's not incentivized to help you, okay? But for what it's worth, I actually do believe him in this instance because in this exact instance, he does not have much incentive to lie. So, and by the way, within that, it doesn't matter. It's still Chris Godwin
Yeah.
because Amon-Ra St. Brown has too many markers. He's missed the last 2 games, and they've clearly put the halo on him. Where if he gets popped again in a way that they don't like, right out of the game.
Yeah.
Right out.
Our friend Mike Manning at the buzzer. Gus.
Wait. He's making faces at me. What? Wait. Okay. Let's answer Mike Manning's question. Gus or Foreman? Go ahead.
Foreman.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Foreman.
I'm also going to go Foreman. Easy enough. Let's back up. Let's make the backing up truck noise.
Going on
Go
and
ahead.
on, man.
Make your little faces and then say what you want to say.
I know. I understand the worry and everything around him. The matchup is too good. They're gonna have to throw. This could be easily the highest scoring game of the week. Wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. And with that in mind, I have to go Amon-Ra here just because of pure volume. Like,
All right, sure. If we're going to play devil's advocate on that, they could look like poo again, like they have for the last 2 weeks, and not score a touchdown because Jared Goff is bad at football.
yeah, it's just such a good matchup.
Especially out of a bye. Like I don't care if you play the Cowboys. Like they looked awful.
Good defense.
Couldn't even get Josh Reynolds involved.
Yeah.
Couldn't even do it. They've been doing it
dealing with
all
injury.
year. Couldn't even do it. He played 80% of the snaps.
Hey, if you're hurt,
Injury
you're hurt.
my
I don't know.
eye. Like
Jerome.
Jerome. How you doing,
yes,
Jerome?
Yep.
Khalil Herbert versus Dallas. They run the ball
100
too much. I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's their
a
whole
run first
offense.
offense.
yeah. It's their whole offense. What are they going to do? Let Justin
Um,
Fields throw it? I wouldn't. Seems like
Chad,
seems like a bad call.
thank you, Chad. Mike, decisions.
Yep, that is the tough part.
Well, I mean, kickoffs like I might have even happened. So
I was going to say decisions are over
Yeah.
now. It's it's locked as of this sentence. It's locked. So we
keep
wish you the best
bringing
of luck,
questions
Mike.
in though. I think we. Oh no, sorry, missed one. Skylar, Hayden Hurst or Waller. I mean, is Waller?
Ooh.
We're not sure on Waller, and the fact
Ooh.
that Chase is now out makes.
Well, you
Hurst
can afford to
interesting.
wait because Hurst plays Monday night.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
that's
would
true,
wait
too.
to
Yeah, I was
see.
gonna say you don't have to make this decision, Skylar. This decision will get made for you. I'll bet, because Waller is very questionable.
I mean, he
And
missed
by
last
the
week.
way, Hayden Hurst has been quietly pretty productive.
And
Like,
without Jamar Chase, I think
yeah, it's not
stock goes
sexy.
up.
It's not sexy, but he had 8 targets last week, and he's averaging about 6. And what do you want from a
both
tight
great
end
numbers,
at this
yeah.
point? So yeah, Waller is highly questionable. I will bet you, as a betting man, I would bet you that this decision gets made for you.
Oh, he's doubling down. Hurst or Hawkinson?
I don't actually know that it's a he.
That's fair too.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's on me. That's
Um,
on me.
and Skylar's in here every week. At some point, maybe we could clarify that, but it doesn't really super matter either way.
Yeah. We just
what does
appreciate
matter
that
is
you're here.
Hurst or Hawkinson.
I do like the Hawkins or the Hurst though, because Hawkinson, like, it all depends on how Goff looks. Because
I mean, they're pretty similar. I have them right next to each other.
See, here's the other thing: we aren't even sure that Hawkinson's going to play.
That's
the hard part here. Is that
nice?
All right.
Thanks for the
confirming.
clarification,
Thanks for
Skylar.
confirming. Thanks for confirming that. This show
Off
is
the
gonna
rails.
get all of us canceled. I've always maintained that this is how we would all get canceled. It's going to be this show.
You know what? We did the right thing. We really did.
What,
Anyways.
clarifying or not getting canceled?
Clarifying, yeah. We could have just, Anyways, let's move on.
The Hurst or Hawkinson, yeah. This one's a little harder because you're not going to get the luxury of the decision getting made for you. You will likely have to make this decision for yourself. But I will say you'll know early because Hawkinson's in the early window on Sunday. You just got to be aware that Hawkinson is also highly questionable.
Still dealing with injury. Somehow.
Yeah, well,
Everybody
and he didn't
is on the
practice
team.
on Wednesday. I don't have a Thursday injury report right in front of my face, but he definitely didn't play or practice on Wednesday. And yeah, they could have been a veteran rest day, but we just don't know. I'd say keep monitoring the injury reports. If Hawkinson was to play, probably going to give the edge to Hawkinson slightly, but I understand this question because the Cleveland Browns defense is atrocious in all levels.
Yep.
So wait for practice reports on that one, and you'll make a decision. You'll get to make a decision here that way. But
He was back at practice today.
He was back at practice today. Does anybody want to pound the table for Hurst? This one is like a real good
No,
one.
I'm literally on the same.
I have him at 9 and 10.
Right? Exactly. It's like a real rail splitter. This
But
conversation.
no, I'm just like you. Like, I'm barely gonna go with Hawkinson.
Yeah, by like
a hair,
like 2%. I give the edge to Hawkinson. It's very close.
Cheers to you, Justin, and our friend Mike went with Lamar. So
all right,
good luck.
All right, good luck.
Aaron Cantu, Chuba.
Chuba
is active.
Chuba? Hubba Bubba?
I want the gum.
Did you guys see the Hubba Bubba car on Twitter, by the way? The guy who has like a classic 70s Cadillac that he wrapped in Hubba Bubba custom graphics.
Oh, jeez.
That's amazing.
To answer his question a little bit, yeah.
100% yes.
Because he's going to siphon carries away.
No, well, he'll siphon receptions, targets. That's more what Chuba's going to do.
Yeah.
Well, it just like snaps. Like that's kind of where
opportunities.
Opportunities.
Yeah. And by the way, I really don't think you need to spend time worrying about it because I really don't think Chuba's going to play in this game.
Correct. Yeah. Based on everything that I've seen and read so far, Chuba does not look like he's going to be playing this week.
Thank you. No, you beat me to it. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Whoa. Mooney.
I should have put this one first because our friend Polo is asking if Justin Fields worth grabbing. His other quarterback's Burrow. Maybe because Burrow's bye week's coming up in 2 weeks. I don't know who the Bears are playing. I don't know who
In
else is a
2 weeks, I can
quarterback.
tell you.
And that's what prompted our friend.
That should be up for the rest of the show. Whenever we don't have a question, this should just be up. This should just be on.
Oh,
We might need
man.
to watermark this actually on the. I might have to do that after the show. Is
Can
like
we put this on a
watermark that.
shirt? I think this would be.
Probably.
Bears play Detroit. Yes.
So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Week 10.
Yes. The answer is
So, yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So I know we're gonna go against the grain here,
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Mark Andrews in the red zone already.
but
Sorry.
yeah, Justin Fields, you have room for him. You need a quarterback. If you have really no other good options, see who's playing Week 10 during Burrow's bye. I think it's Week 10. I think it's Week 10 that the Bengals are on a
Like
bye.
Burrow's on the bye.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
also have that up.
if Fields is available, he's playing Detroit. I'm sure that'll be a juicy matchup. I'm a Fields truther. I have him in a couple leagues.
Nope, they play
um,
Monday.
Yeah.
Oh wait, nope, that was this week. My bad. I was like, why did that go back? Yeah, they're off 10. So
Yeah,
that-
that's what I was trying to confirm. Yeah, they're off in week 10.
Okay.
so yes, Fields would be great as your backup that week.
Yeah.
Versus the Lions, who give up everything to everybody
Polo.
consistently. Nice.
We are in agreement. That's funny. Okay, Skylar again. San Fran's defense versus the Rams or New England's defense versus the Jets. I'm going New England. Jets offense without Brees Hall now. I watched that game, so I gonna pull back the curtain. I work in sports television, and every Sunday I have to do a game. I had to do that Broncos Jets game, and oh my god, that Jets offense without Brees Hall was rudderless.
Well, they're not. That's the
It's-
dirty little secret. The Jets aren't actually good.
Oh,
Brees Hall is good.
their defense is
and-
good.
Okay, but that's fine. I agree with
I
you
know
there.
what you mean.
Sauce Gardner, rookie of the year candidate, blah blah blah, blip 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 blip. I understand. Jets defense is playing well, but look at the Jets offense. It is literally Brees Hall, fireman, carrying the rest of that team. It's like the end of that movie, The Bodyguard, where Brees Hall is just carrying them out of the burning building. Like it's literally that's what it was. And that there's nothing else to talk. Zach Wilson is incapable of throwing a football successfully. And they are doing everything they can to distract from that reality. And now that you're going to have just
Well,
two
Elijah
running
Moore is
backs-
helping to take away that spotlight.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, by having a fit with the rest of
Correct.
but they can't even get the ball to Garrett Wilson. In a universe where Joe Flacco had no problem getting the ball to Garrett Wilson, Zach Wilson can't figure this out. Because Zach Wilson, I don't want to insult people by calling them Tim Tebow, but he's got that Tebow stink of can't even throw the ball 5 yards to a wide open player and is just running around out there. Like Zach Wilson is killing. We talked about this all going back to 32 and 32. Me, Steve, and Mike. When Zach Wilson got back, what we called it the murdering, because he would just murder the fantasy value of everyone. And I said the only one who would survive the murdering was Brees Hall, and he did. And now Brees Hall is gone. So now I don't think anybody survives the murdering.
Yep.
So we've got a big problem with your Jets. It's only in the year 2022. Only in the year 2022, this horrible year of 2022, would I be opining that Joe Flacco be a starting quarterback in the NFL to save the value of all the Jets pass catchers. That's the year we're having, folks. It ain't pretty.
Or even like Mike White. Remember when Mike White was a thing? When he came in and we all thought he was
Both
like,
better
Gus
than
Victor.
Wilson.
Well,
Joe
that's
Flacco-
my point. Like, that's
Yeah.
where we were, is that we were praising Mike White because he was so much better than the second overall pick. Okay.
So I will go with you on that, by the way, the other reason is play the Patriots, but the other reason is, besides the Jets' woes and ineptitude,
They're gonna be pissed.
no, everybody on the 49ers defense is still hurt. A couple weeks ago, they missed 7 defensive starters.
Yeah.
And that was when everybody freaked out because they had a really bad game. And I'm like, well, what do you want?
And the
that
Rams
problem-
coming up by.
Right. And that problem has not completely resolved itself. They're not going to be missing 7,
I
but they're going to be
missing
missing enough to
4.
matter. Yeah, but it's
Uh,
enough to matter.
So sorry, Skylar's just following up. Said the damn Bears best beat up.
Beat
guess.
up. Yeah.
I get that. I don't know. I can't explain that. I didn't watch.
I consider that a
rushing.
fluke. I watched
Yeah.
the whole game and I consider it a giant fluke. I consider it the fact that I consider it the fact that the Patriots are kind of in flux right now. But that's why I think they're not going to come into this with the game plan they had against the Bears. I think their weird game plan of we don't know who our quarterback is. It could be anybody. I think that really screwed them up. You need to pick a direction and go with it, which is why I think they're saying, all right, then if that's what we got to do, it's Mac Jones, baby. Give him all the reps, get him in, and they're going to have a cohesive game plan to take the Jets down.
And they just said Rams have to get past 49ers sometime. They did. It was the NFC Championship game.
Hey, I watched that. Quality game.
Sorry, I'm scrolling back up. Aaron Cantu again with the Chase news. Is T Higgins worth overpaying for? I think so.
Nothing's ever worth overpaying for. I reject the question out of hand.
I bet you would already be overpaying. Like I'm talking to you specifically, Neil. You were probably going to already overpay for T Higgins. I think you're a T Higgins guy.
Yeah. Oh, big T Higgins guy. So I don't consider that overpaying. I consider that fair market value, Jordan. I consider that fair market. That's fair market value, baby. Because T Higgins is super good at football. He's amazing. The problem is that I get the question.
All the targets.
When you say overpaying, I get what. If you were going to attempt to acquire T Higgins right now, you would likely be overpaying because who in their right mind would give up based on this information? If you were rostering T Higgins, who would give it up? Nobody. What would you have to give up? Realistically speaking, what do you think you'd have to give up to get T Higgins?
You'd probably
you'd have to give up?
Cup. You have to give up Cup.
No,
no. You
would have to give up like Aaron Jones. And
there you go. This is more real. Let's do because you don't do it within position because that's really hard.
Aaron Jones. I'm just trying to think of Aaron Jones and
something like that. I'm telling you, it's something like that. It's
I can't think of any specifics, but like
Aaron Jones is okay. Like it'd be like
and Amari Cooper.
Something like that. That's kind of like that neighborhood. I think that's what you're going to be looking at, and it's like that's an insane price tag.
Yeah.
To have to give up something useful at running back like that. Now that being said, if I could get away with trading like Najee Harris and Amari Cooper, I might just do that.
I'm just like if I'm thinking as the T Higgins,
break that in
the T Higgins roster manager. I don't even want that. I'm like, why would I give up T Higgins now?
Hence my point.
Yeah. So
what would you have to actually give, and could you even do it?
Yeah.
T Higgins is becoming almost functionally untradeable.
Yeah.
Like either way, it's a tough one. Let's go to Ryan Keel.
Full PPR, George Pickens or Curtis Samuel. I'm gonna go Pickens because
that's my kid. There we go.
Because I don't know if Heineke can sustain Samuel. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not one to risk fantasy week off it. Pickens, Kenny Pickett loves him some George Pickens.
Correct.
And it's a tough matchup this week, but you're going to assume it's going to be negative game script. You're going to assume that Pickens going to have to throw the ball to stay in it. I'm probably going to go Pickens if it's close. I will admit it's close, just because I don't like the matchup.
Close. I haven't separated my 16 spots.
All right,
Pickens is definitely ahead.
All right. I disagree that it's not close. I think it is very much close. I think you're evaluating flexes in a real way here.
Yeah.
And it's not a comment on George Pickens. It's a comment on how many passes the Steelers actually throw in any given week, by the way. Because by the way, they don't all go to George Pickens. They spread it around.
And actually, most of them have been going to Johnson, which is annoying.
Well, they're going to Johnson. Claypool's been getting involved. Freiermuth gets his. They all get a taste.
The most consistent is Freiermuth.
Yes, it is actually. George Pickens is the one that does the most circus acrobat crap and gets the most interesting, like weird red zone usage, such as to the extent they actually get in the red zone. So I get where you're at here because you're also looking at Curtis Samuel 2 weeks ago had a real clunker and people still have the bad taste in their mouth. But I will say he got right last week. He looked better. They are going to make it a point to continue to keep him involved. I actually have them like functionally right next to each other in my flex rankings because you're kind of dealing with that. So I'll answer your question this way. If I think I need 10 to 12 points and I need a floor, it's Curtis Samuel. If I think I need 20 because I need a touchdown, it's George Pickens. It's a question of what do I need, floor versus ceiling, to win my week. And I think Samuel's your floor guy because he's almost guaranteed to get you something.
Including
George
rushing
Pickens.
Touches.
Right. George Pickens is the one that it's like, bruh, I don't care about a 10. I need a 25. Okay, play Pickens in that case because Pickens is the one who's more likely to get you to the promised land that way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Aaron. Thank you.
I'm gonna assume this is for Jason. Mad props to you, looking like a smart man, trading away Jefferson, Ramondre, Ayuk for Higgins. Barkley is feeling better now. I don't know how to decipher this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yo.
Maybe it's himself.
Maybe.
No? Aaron, were we helping you in the Discord?
Yeah,
I feel like this is I vaguely
Yes.
recall this.
he's in the Discord.
Yeah, I feel like I vaguely recall this, but to be honest with you, the last 2 weeks of my life are a complete and total blur, and I barely know what my name is. So,
All right. Well, we'll go back to another area.
well, thank you for the kind words, by the way. Thank you.
Also, Wandale call
Yeah.
picked him out every weeks ago. Good for you. That was a smart move.
That was a good one.
I got
Especially
you.
now- well, I
Week
mean, like
5,
Tony,
baby.
Tony
I
wasn't
looked it
really
up this
like
week.
holding him back, but still, yeah. Our friend Kevin McCarthy. I'm gonna assume Damian Pierce, Mostert, Montgomery start
It
two,
is.
bench
It
one.
is Damian Pierce. Ooh,
I'm
fun.
sitting Montgomery.
That's a good one.
I will say Mostert for sure.
It's
That's-
Pierce for me is the one that I'm
Yeah,
saying is for
it's
sure.
Pierce
I'm
and Mostert
100%
for sure.
playing Pierce. The question is the other ones.
Because Herbert has been
And
playing
yeah.
better.
I have Mostert 3 spots ahead of Montgomery, and it's
Let's
mostly
go.
because Mostert has
All the work.
whatever my opinions on like what they're doing in Miami are what they are, but Mostert has just kicked dirt on the graves of all the other Dolphins running backs, and Chase Edmonds is playing in such a way that he's like about to be out of football.
Yeah,
I don't know
they've
what's
used
wrong.
Mostert in the passing game, which
I don't
is
know
like,
what's wrong with Chase Edmonds, but something is clearly wrong with that. I don't know if it's Chase Edmonds or the situation or whatever it is, but something is not working. And Edmonds is like relegated to nothing. He does not matter.
He's become this year's Miles Gaskin. I guess.
This is actually canon.
Yes!
Polo is 100% correct. That's canon now.
right here.
Just
hit this-
Yeah, that's. How is Polo better at marketing than we are?
Whoa.
That's.
I do a lot of
the
work.
Interesting. That's the interesting question. He's so much better at marketing than everyone on this call, including Jason.
That's so rude.
It's like you. It's like you don't understand what the function of the show is.
I do all the work. I don't. What are you talking about? I market the crap out of the show
I know
and
you do.
Patreon and everything else. It's
I know you do, but I enjoy antagonizing you, and that's what I say. It's like you don't. It's like you're on the show and you don't get the show. I'm doing the same thing Jack used to do. Jack would antagonize you too. It's like you don't get It's like you don't get what we're here to do.
We're
Jordan's
here
here
to
to be this-
answer people's questions.
Well, to a
Which is
point. To a
Pierce and
point.
Mostert.
I would argue to a point. Yes, we are here to do that, and yes, I also will go Pierce and Mostert. Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll go Pierce.
We all agree on Pierce then.
Mostert's my like for sure.
Oh, okay, then we're all in agreement. We're gonna.
Yeah, but I'll probably say Pierce over Montgomery.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
go
gonna.
with
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, guys, keep those questions coming, folks. Keep them coming. Hope your Thursday night game is going well. Keep them coming. We're gonna do game break. We're gonna do game breakdowns
here.
here.
Touchdowns.
Say that again.
So, Leonard Fournette just scored a touchdown, even though we're just like, oh, you're probably not gonna.
Well, hey,
Of them, he was our favorite running back.
look, I don't care. That's fine. I'm actually glad it happened because I go back to my original supposition on this anyway. Leonard Fournette is the running back I most want to trade off my team right now. And if he scores a touchdown tonight, that's great because it means I can get more for him. But I have no interest in that long term because Tampa Bay is
Quick question.
they're all going through that divorce with Tom.
Who's Kieft?
What?
Correct. He has a target for 9 yards.
Yeah, but you gotta like I don't know what you just said.
Kieft. That I don't know. That's
Kokieft.
Kokieft for the Bucks. They have the most random players that they throw.
I would
to.
assume it's tight end.
I'd assume it's a tight end too, if that's the case,
Because
or it's
Brady's
some
not
weird
playing.
one of those
It is a
weird
tight end.
eligible lineman situations that you see once a year.
Well, they barely have linemen to begin with, so I don't think they'd be like putting them out.
Hey, this guy with the jokes. This
I
guy.
wasn't even joking. I was
guy.
actually serious.
This guy. Oh my god! All right, let's
guess
go
what?
do.
We have
we'll
a
do-
show in London or a game in London this week.
We do have a game in London. Everybody's
Woof.
so excited.
Yeah,
Nope.
I am so excited about this game. I'm gonna go do high knees on a plane. That's
Oh,
how
God.
excited I am about this game.
Good night, everybody. That's it. Roster the people. Week 8. I'm
Ugh.
done. What an insufferable new. if anybody was doing high knees on a plane while I'm trying to sleep, we're gonna be scrapping. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, what an insufferable news story. I also love that, like, his body is screaming, like, just let me sleep and heal. All right, body, it's time for 20 hours of rehab.
Do you think he was?
You know what?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's go to London. We'll go to London, and
Next year?
we'll have Jordan do high knees on the plane
And we will record it.
and do a fight. Yeah, high knees on a plane is insane. That's the understatement of the year.
Do we actually think he was doing like actual up and downs, or do you think it was a stretch?
No, I think he was doing the thing where he was actually like
knees
like,
to the hands, knees to the hands.
Yeah, knees to hands, aggressively moving his knees up and down. I honest to God believe that to be real.
Yeah.
Woof.
Without a shred of self-awareness.
The more he says, the less I want him to say. The more he explains about his life, the less I want to know.
How's it like? How do you like living in Denver there, Neil?
I love living in Denver. I hate talking about the Broncos. I'm not even kidding. Do you want to talk about the Avs? We can talk about a real team. Talk about Stanley Cup.
Yes. Our weekly hockey segment.
We can just derail the show even further. That's fine. We can talk about McKinnon. Yeah, we can talk about McKinnon. That's
I got Valeri Nichushkin.
Yeah,
who's quietly leading
absolutely.
The league points.
Yeah, we can talk about the new goalie the Avs got, who I've been very impressed with. Like we can talk. Yeah, you're better than me. I tried to pronounce that. Tried to pronounce that all week and couldn't do it. It's also spelled in such a way that I'm like, I'm very English, and it like fried my brain because I'm like, those letters don't go next to each other, like ever. Like it.
I mean, I'm dead serious. Everyone's got hockey questions. Please shoot.
Put them in. Why not? We'll just cut Jason out of his own show.
Yeah, I will leave.
He will leave. Jason's
no doubt in my mind. I'll be like, okay.
Jason's already mad at us in the background for other reasons. Like, full disclosure, Jason's kind of ticked off at the rest of us for other reasons. Like, and I kind of get why. But like he will probably leave if we start making this a hockey show. Like, it'll just be Jordan and I.
We'll bring on Mike Manning
after we go through this week's games. Yeah, I will. Well,
we're gonna do the game. We're gonna do the games quickly. But yes, Broncos, gross. At Jacksonville in London, the yearly Jacksonville-London game.
Hey, their home stadium. Jack's gonna rule this game.
Yeah, exactly. You're very welcome, Ryan.
Enjoy, Ryan.
And as much as it's disgusting, yes, look it up on Twitter. Russell Wilson has been rehabbing like crazy, including doing all this odious personality stuff to try and assert that he is playing. It's looking like he's going to play. So it likely will be Russ. No, it doesn't matter because you're not starting Russ at this point. But at least it should help some of the skill position players, especially for those of you who are rostering Courtland Sutton. Mike Boone on the IR. Shame. Pour one out for Mike Boone. We have no animosity towards Mike Boone. He's not great, but I have no ill will towards the man. And they signed Marlon Mack off the 49ers practice squad. What is that? Team 6 for Marlon Mack this year?
Well, to be fair, it's been back and forth. He's been on and off of practice squads more often.
Yeah, but I count those because there's some of them are different teams.
No, it's only been 3 teams.
Yeah,
all right,
3 teams. But he's been on and off of 2 more than once.
6 transactions,
yes.
3 teams. Fair enough. Okay, and then you will have all of your Jaguars to the extent that they matter, or as the English say, since this game is in London, the Jaguars. You will have all of them for you.
I have one question I have to ask.
Go ahead.
Where do you have Etienne ranked against this Broncos defense? That is like the one thing that is blowing my mind. I'm struggling. It's a tough game.
16.
Yeah, that's high.
That sounds reasonable.
Well, it's the pass catching, Jason, and that's if the Broncos do have an Achilles heel, it's dump offs to the running back out of the backfield. Now, I will say, the Broncos do not have many Achilles heels right now. That defense is a world beater, and they're playing great. So
I've been saving them in games.
I know. Well, they would be 1 and whatever if they didn't have that defense. But again, this is why you do the whole Russell Wilson trade to begin with. You got a young core on offense, and you have an elite top 3 defense when everybody's healthy. And now they're talking about trading Bradley Chubb, and I'm like, this is just gone cake in the rain so aggressively fast that like I can't think of a better way to describe it than cake in the rain. And if you want to see what I'm talking about, go get a cake and put it in the rain and film it. Because it's remarkable how quickly it goes sideways. But you will have all your Jags to the extent that they matter. I would argue Etienne is the one you're probably most likely to play. I get the question, Jason.
Kirk.
And then second choice on that would be
Christian
why am
Kirk.
thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
want to call him DJ Chark. And I'm like,
I know.
it's not DJ Chark. Like DJ Chark's not on that team and he's on IR, but it's Christian Kirk. Outside of that, is there anybody you're interested in? Marvin Jones has quietly been getting much
Touchdowns.
more run. Well, just more involved in general. But I don't know that I could get up for Marvin Jones this week.
Okay,
against
based on that,
secondary.
Marvin Jones, DPJ, talking about people have been showing up.
I would rather play DPJ.
'Kay.
Much better matchup, and DPJ's snap percentage is the crown jewel of DPJ right now. I saw you were talking about this on the wire, and it's actually something that I was going to talk about with you. DPJ, quietly, wide receiver 50 in fantasy, nears makes no difference. It's that neighborhood. However,
past 3 weeks have been
insane. And if you go through his usage rate on the season, he plays 80% of their snaps on offense at this point. He's a regular starter. So it's a situation where it's not insane to say that DPJ should realistically be rostered at the end of just about he should be rostered in just about every league at this point at the back end of somebody's bench. Because what happens when Watson comes back? We don't know. We don't know. Could be good, could be bad, but it's probably worth it to find out now while it's still cheap, especially because you can get something in the meantime. You're not just waiting for Watson. You get cookies along the way and candy. And since Halloween's coming up, we got candy on the brain.
I'm half tempted to wear a costume on Monday, but it feels weird.
Careful with the costume. Run your costume choice by the board in the background by the rest of us. I'd like to know what your options are. If you want to go with creepy clown, I think creepy clown might be entertaining.
With the full makeup.
Yeah, full makeup, big wig, big rainbow wig, like matted down under the headset. I think that'd be really fun. Jordan has lost all interest in this conversation. He's completely he's checking out so aggressively. Chris, we're doing fine. How you doing, buddy? All right, next game, Panthers at Falcons.
Yeah, we're talking about games.
We've been talking about games. There's just nothing to talk about in that Broncos Jacksonville game. Don't watch it. Don't wake up early for that. Sleep in, or maybe if you're gonna wake up, go cut the grass. Do something productive. Like
I just like having it on when I'm doing start sits on Sunday. That's the only plus side of it.
That is very much a you level problem. The Panthers at Falcons. Falcons -6 at home. I kind of get it, even though this is like two bad teams, two bad tastes that taste bad together, to borrow a phrase. For the Panthers, you're gonna have PJ Walker. It's gonna probably be that way until somebody gets hurt. They're kind of incentivized to see what they have because they think they know Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are not going to be with the team long term. They'll both be free agents here soon. Chuba Hubbard. I don't know about Trey. That's pretty funny.
Where's the shot?
It's pretty funny. I'll give you that. I chuckled. You got me. Chuba Hubbard did not finish the game on Sunday. He's got a sprained is it knee or ankle? I don't remember. Either way, more than likely Chuba Hubbard is not playing this week. So Donta Foreman should see some increased reps. And speaking of Donta Foreman, Jason, you have a Donta Foreman thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I've kind of touched on it because, I am assuming that Chuba's out. This is not the greatest matchup. The Falcons are actually pretty good against the run. But the fact that would be used in the pass catching game, has that ability to break off a long run. We kind of saw it last year when he was with the Titans. The options there, I really like him for the upside, and I would start he is a start of a week for me because right now he's out of the top 24 running backs, which is kind of atrocious to me if Chuba's out. He should be ranked in the top 24, and I just think that with him being the 4 targets, I think he's going to see at least 4 targets on Sunday, and that helps him if Chuba's out. So.
All right. Other side of the ball, Falcons. Nothing really to report here. I'm actually going to blow right past your note because I don't think anybody's going to play Caleb Huntley anyway. But here's what I will say. The note that is not on here that I think should be. Cordarrelle Patterson trending towards returning week 9.
Oh, that's not bad.
Hold on to your butts because that matters. If Cordarrelle Patterson's coming back, I had a long argument about this in our Discord. Feel free to join our Discord so you can go read it. But Cordarrelle Patterson coming back week 9 is huge for the Falcons. It's huge. He's going to be the minute he comes back, he's going to go right in the mix, and he's going to relegate Caleb Huntley anyway. So no one cares about Caleb Huntley anymore,
And Algier.
unless you're in Dynasty. So, and the rest of it's a mess because Damian Williams is looking like he's going to come back around the same time. Kind of don't care. All that would do is relegate Tyler Algier. And frankly, given as the season wears on, I think they'll probably just give the snaps to Algier anyway, and Damian Harris won't matter nearly as much. But that's the big note: is not this week, but as soon as next week, Cordarrelle Patterson could be back in your lineups. So something to noodle on. Moving on, Bears at Cowboys. Cowboys -10 at home. Tell me how you really feel, odds makers.
Woof.
Byron Pringle activated to come back. As I will reference our friend Kevin McCarthy. Where is it? Put it back up. There you go. That's what you do with that. That's how you deal with that. Kevin McCarthy, for those of you who don't know, and why would you unless you're me, is a lifelong Bears fan who lives in the Chicagoland area and has been watching them for 30 years, roughly. Like, if anyone knows, Kevin McCarthy. Herbert and Montgomery will continue to split time. Jason, we've talked about this a couple times, but do you want to go real quick through your David Montgomery logic for this week?
Yep, I'm sitting him. It's pretty basic for me. The Cowboys are great against defending the run, which is all that the Bears do. And of the two, I'd much rather take the guy who actually has more talent in Khalil Herbert. His breakaway ability. The fact that they are splitting touches against a good defense is disgusting, and so I would be surprised.
We got it, Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan,
Yeah.
I'd like you to unpack the little facial tick that you developed during that.
He's right about what he's saying. That like now the splitting carries, but he said the one with talent.
Well, he said more talent. I do
More
want to
talent.
I will agree
Okay.
with
Montgomery is
caveat.
talented, but Herbert has more talent.
Okay.
It's
I
pretty
can
basic.
see.
I thought he said no talent. I thought he said in a way that David Montgomery had no talent.
Okay. Cool. We're
But
good.
you
We're
can't
good
blame me
here.
because that sounds like something Jason would say. So
That's fair.
We're good here. We're good. We've averted the crazy train. We're good. But it's funny. We talk about this. Herbert, wave of the future. That's going to be your guy, likely.
Yep.
And I look forward to seeing Montgomery play in whatever jersey he'll be playing in that is not a Chicago jersey, because I do want to point out, Montgomery himself is talented. He is a good player.
Anywhere else.
So he will have a role somewhere else, but it's just not going to be in Chicago.
yeah, it'll probably be Miami.
And
Would be
this is
great if it was the
also,
Falcons.
by the way, I completely co-sign this. Micah Parsons is going to eat them alive on Sunday. They don't have any player on the Bears, O-line or tight end room that will be able to stop it. He's just going to come right down your throat. So the key is going to be getting the ball to Justin Fields, and then Justin Fields immediately running the opposite direction of Micah Parsons as fast as he can, and that's the only way that he doesn't die. So it's funny. We've actually talked about this privately. The other side of the ball, Cowboys. You will likely have Dalton Schultz for this game. I'm not happy about the fact that he continues to keep tweaking his knee. Every week I have to report he tweaks
That tackle
his knee.
really hurt me when I saw him do it. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw that, and I immediately was like, ow. I don't know if other people have that. I see that happen period. I see that happen period, especially when people are running kicks back and they get lit up. I'm the person who'll be reacting like, oh.
That one hurt.
Like, especially when you hear it like super hard, it's like, my bones. Like, it's just like I have that reaction.
Sore the next day.
Yeah, like, oh man, like you couldn't pay me to do that. Like you're gonna be walking
Not even
with
millions of dollars.
Yeah, but you don't get paid millions of dollars to run kicks. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna be walking with a permanent severe limp. Like, I'm good, man. I'm limping enough as it is, just getting old. Like, I don't need that. But I digress. We talked about this. You likely will not have Zeke for this game. Has not practiced Wednesday, has not practiced Thursday. He's dealing with a strained knee, and he actually got off late, given the hit that he took, that it's only a knee strain and not something much more serious. It is very likely that Zeke is going to miss this game, and it is also very likely that he's going to miss the game after that based on a normal human being's recovery time from a sprained knee. Jason, I know you have some thoughts on Dak Prescott though, to round out the game breakdown here.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. The fact that, Bears want to run the ball, try and keep it away. Great idea. Good luck against the Cowboys. Cowboys are also being able to run the ball very effectively. And so I'm more worried about Dak Prescott. He's my sit of the week. I don't trust the fact that he's going to have to throw it a whole lot. And that makes me nervous for him. The fact that he is going to easily be able to hand off to a very talented Tony Pollard makes me worried for him as a quarterback and playing him. His throws looked off when I was watching him. I didn't like how he was going through progressions. I think it might potentially be the fact that it was the defense he was playing, but even then, it just didn't look right, and I'm not comfortable playing Dak Prescott this week.
Fair enough. I know Jordan and I have different feelings to that.
Well,
depending on what you're actually talking about, right, Jordan?
Yeah, like it's sound, like it's. I understand it. I just in the mind where maybe you just don't have a better option than Dak.
That's also,
and that's how I always think of it.
Daniel Jones or Dak.
But that's safe. You have Daniel Jones.
Dak. We already had this conversation. Like,
Jimmy G or Dak?
You're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, that's just worse.
You're going the wrong way.
Wow.
I'm trying to see what that question was. Now I'm gonna.
It was Lamar, but it's close enough. Well, you're looking that up. We're gonna go to Dolphins, Lions. You'll have all your Dolphins. There's nobody like Tyreek Hill technically didn't practice Wednesday. No one cares. He'll be out there. It's fine. He left that game in a walking boot and he was practicing the next week, so it doesn't. He's fine. With the Lions, a little bit more of some gray areas here. A lot of talk about Jameson Williams recently. Jameson Williams, as we've been saying through the entire preseason, the whole season, and I'll say it again now. We have to give this update. He ain't playing until December. If he plays, he ain't playing until December. We've been consistent on this. At least I have. He ain't playing. They have no incentive to do that, by the way, with how bad their record is. So if he's not fully healthy and ready to go, you don't risk your high round draft pick for no reason. Just to get him reps? That's insanity. Dan Campbell is not a professional wrestler, okay? He just acts like one to confuse people in the media.
It was Gino. That's who it was.
Okay. That's right. We've had a few of those.
Still Gino.
I was going to say, I didn't think it was Daniel Jones.
At least you're going the right direction again. Yeah. At least you're going back the right way up the rankings. But yeah, Jameson Williams is not going to play until December. If he plays at all, stop it. Stop it with the jam. I've seen so many people that are so upset at Dan Campbell on Twitter over this. And I'm like, sign up for our Discord, please, then. And check out our 32 and 32. Because for $1 a month, we could have saved you a lot of heartache here, people. We were talking about that in freaking July. Like, that's not news. What is more news is what we talked about a little while ago. Amon-Ra St. Brown is on his way out of the concussion protocol, just like Dan Campbell said he would be, which is, again, he has no incentive to tell you the truth, but he doesn't appear to be lying about that. So it's looking like Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to suit up again. I think we would all be just a little concerned about the fact that they seem, and when I say they, I mean the league / the officials, they really seem to be looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown closely during every game. And if he even blinks in a way they don't like, get the hook. And
which
they
is
just hook him out of the
surprising
game.
Because of the people that I'd be worried about, it would actually be Freiermuth, who had like 3 concussions this year already. And
He's had 3 concussions in 12 months. That's the stat.
Exactly. Which, like, okay, of the people, that's who I'm more worried about, not Amon-Ra, who.
Well, then to be fair, they did pull him out of that game, and then he
was back the next week.
No, he wasn't. They made him sit out a game. I have it right here, Jason. I also roster Pat Freiermuth in every league. Like I have 5 shares of Pat Freiermuth. Like I am very aware of what they did. They sat him down because of the concussion. He missed a week because of it. Because he had 3 concussions in 12 months. That was the stated rationale. Because they said technically he could have played. So that's what's going on with Pat Freiermuth over there. But I agree. It's concerning either any way you slice it. Taking Freiermuth out of it entirely. It's all concerning. It's all bad. But that being said, if Amon-Ra St. Brown is starting for the Lions, he's starting for you. I highly doubt you have better options. The other concern that I have, we touched on it briefly, is the Lions appear to be regressing hard.
I think it's... Well, I don't even say he's regressing. I think he's just showing who he actually is. I think it's Goff. I really do. And I don't think they have a reason to bench him because they want a new quarterback. They have no reason to win games.
This guy understands how to draft. Like, yeah,
And
no,
they'll
they
have
need / want a new quarterback. We all know Jared Goff is not the answer long term, because Jared Goff has proven to be wildly inconsistent over his career. He has good games and he has bad.
I think also it was the fact that they played the Cowboys and couldn't run the ball. If they can't establish the run, there's no way.
And they also didn't have DeAndre Swift, and I will talk about that here. DeAndre Swift, full participant Wednesday and Thursday, really looking like he's going to play in this game. Really looking like he's going to play without restriction in this game, and that is great because as much as we love Jamal Williams is not built to do that whole job by himself for a 16-game season, and you're already starting to see the wheels start to come off. Jamal Williams is a great complementary running back for your team. Even at his age, he's great at that job. He is not meant to be out there doing the DeAndre Swift job full time. Like, he can do it on a limited basis, but and also that goal line fumble last week, that hurt. That hurt everybody. Hurt my heart and my soul. Because also I have so many DeAndre Swift shares. I can't even express to people like how invested I am in that, like long term. But we'll move on. Cardinals, Vikings, 3.5 on the at home. Kind of surprising, actually. James Conner,
because they're at home. I mean, that's what it is.
James Conner might be suiting up this week. To be honest with you, given how bad running back is and given what your other options are, I could see a scenario where you have to play him. The problem is I have no idea what to tell you about what he could get. Could get a 2, could get a 5, could get a 10, could get a 20. No one knows. He could re-injure his ribs and be done after 3 plays. No one knows. You might not have better options, but you might want to try and find some because. And also, as an aside, we talked about players to trade. Leonard Fournette being really high up that list. I'm praying James Conner has some kind of 20 if he's on my roster, and I do have him in one league, so I can try and just okie dokie somebody because I want out of the James Conner business. If you're getting outplayed by Benjamin, whoo boy, you are not long for this world. And then the Vikings, you'll have all your Vikings. Start them with impunity.
The best part of that is they are coming off a bye, so be ready for this. That's the other reason I think they're getting the 3.5 points, is because coming off a bye, prepare for this team. Got to see what Hopkins looked like. Man, this game, this could easily get out of hand.
I also think the Cardinals just haven't figured it out yet, and
Hopkins is going to see 30 targets.
Hopkins really helped. I'll say that
he did help, but
Hopkins really helped.
If it weren't for 2 pick sixes last week,
that's
probably could have won that game.
That's fair. That's fair. You're not gonna have Andy Dalton bailing you out. Yeah. All the Andy Dalton is better than Jameis Winston. People got very quiet, by the way. After that, no.
Whoa! I still think Andy Dalton's better than Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
I'm weird.
We've been through that.
Hey, now the Saints believe it. Just saying it.
I don't even know that they believe it. I think Jameis Winston has a serious back injury that they're just trying really hard to not talk about because they keep saying very quietly, yeah, he's not totally healthy yet. And in this case, I actually believe that. And by the way, I'm going to do a new show, Jordan, that you can produce this, by the way. It's going to be Jason's therapy couch. And it's going to be me and Jason, and I'm going to put Jason on the couch, like Sigmund Freud style, facing the other way, and I'm just going to start asking him questions. And I'm going to be happy to have you produce that. That's going to be,
oh my God,
it's going to be the hit show. It's going to be the hit show is Jason's therapy couch.
Well, if you join the Discord, we could do it on there. And
yeah, well, don't worry. We'll bring this up at the next board meeting. We'll do this at the next board meeting. We'll talk through this. I'm writing this down, actually. Like, we'll do the Jason therapy couch show. Raiders at Saints. We already said that. No, we didn't.
No, we haven't.
No, we didn't. Yeah, Raiders at Saints. Saints are getting -2. That's the ultimate. Like, I have no idea how to handicap this type of situation.
No,
nope, either way.
Yeah.
I said Raiders. Okay. Raiders -2 either way.
Yeah.
It's fine. Again, like I said, the last 2 weeks of my life are a blur. I'm not sleeping. So Darren Waller practices on Wednesday. Still highly questionable for this.
Still
game.
iffy.
Like like if he plays, I get it. You probably want to put him out there. But, oh boy, is that scary. Everything about it is scary. And then Devonta Adams has missed Wednesday and Thursday with illness. I'm not actually worried about Devonta Adams now.
So I am a smidge because they're saying it's a flu. And if that is the case, he's going to be I mean, granted, Jordan could play a flu game. Adams could very well have a flu game.
You beat me to it. Michael Jordan dropped 45 with the flu. What you talking
Correct.
In the NBA
about? What you talking
Finals.
about? Yeah, what you talking about? Like, you saying Devontae Adams isn't the athlete that
You know
Michael
what?
Jordan is?
I would still take.
I'll get Devontae Adams on the phone. You
Devontae
explain
Adams
it to
at
him.
75% is still better than whatever your alternatives are. 100.
Probably true.
So
The only way you're not playing Devontae Adams is if he's actually ruled out for the game, which I find unlikely. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
And then the Saints, we started talking about it. Winston's still not 100%. Andy Dalton was named the starter. Gross. And the other issue is that you're still dealing with is a lot of their pass catchers are still hurt. Michael Thomas still hurt. Jarvis Landry still hurt. Adam Trotman still hurt. And then Marshawn Lattimore is not a pass catcher, but he is good enough to matter. Marshawn Lattimore is still hurt. These are all chronic multi-week injuries that are plaguing them. So you're going to be dealing with the Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway experience. So realistically, you're talking just about
Chris Olave.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty much all it
Rashid
is.
Shaheen.
Rashid Shaheen is interesting.
That the fact that he's pulled off
Fast.
those big plays.
Fast.
I wish he was a Charger.
We watch every game, right? And it's rare that you see somebody that all of the people in our Discord are like, who? And then it's like, wait, how fast did he run? Because then you realize like they clock him on the field, and it's like, how? Wait, and you
That
can
can't
just
be right.
you can just notice it that he's so much faster than everybody else. And it's funny because we don't have a combine time for him because he played at Weber State and hurt himself, didn't get to play. Well, shouldn't say hurt himself, was injured and couldn't do the combine. So that's why nobody's ever heard of this guy because it's Weber State. So unless you went to Weber State and were his roommate, no one knows. Or his dad, no one knows anything about it. But yes,
Hey,
I agree with you.
Notable alumni from Weber State, Damian Lillard.
Oh,
Nice.
all right. Well, maybe Dame knew about it, but we don't talk to Dame. So it's Jason. I know you want to talk about a Saint that we haven't talked about though before we move on.
Yeah, and it was annoying because I forgot to put it in the notes last week, but Juwan Johnson.
That's what you get for having a family and not being on the show last week.
I
This
know.
is your fault. Like,
Yes, I understand, but still, again, with everybody out, Juwan Johnson is likely a red zone target, and I absolutely love him for it. He is one of those players that can easily catch those 2 touchdowns. I don't think it's going to happen again, but with Troutman sidelined, granted it was a concussion, so he could be back. I'm still iffy on it. But Thomas and Landry both being out, potentially, we're looking at Juwan Johnson as a great streaming option. He's my start of the week for tight end if those guys continue to be out because 5+ targets, red zone, love it. I'm a Juwan Johnson fan. Even when Troutman was there, I was like, I like him better talent-wise, but clearly I was wrong.
Yeah,
So-
Troutman has not lived up to expectations. The one thing that I will say, not to throw cold water on it, he had a 4 up until like the fourth quarter of that game when he scored 2 touchdowns. And the one thing that I will say is Taysom Hill scares me as it relates to Juwan Johnson, but that's the fun part. Tight end is so bad that I can't really argue with you. So we're gonna move on. But yeah, I agree with the theory. Just people should just be aware that Taysom Hill could come in and vulture all of it right out from under you because it's Taysom Hill and that's what he
But
does.
he's not going to catch the ball. He's going
Caught
to run.
one. He caught a touchdown last week, right? That's 2 on the year.
Uh,
This is the argument that I have to have with people on Twitter every week. It's so cynical. Patriots at Jets. We've already done a lot of this in answering the question, so I'm going to do this super quickly. Mac Jones is your starter for the Patriots. They're not going to tell you anything more than that. Stop asking. Actually, would be Bill Belichick's request.
Yeah, please
And
leave us
then,
alone.
Right, just leave him alone. He's going to start Mac Jones this week. He's giving him the reps. That's your choice. The Jets. For those of you who've been living under a rock, Breece Hall tore his ACL. I want to swear, but I'm not going to do it. A sad end to a great season. And
He is one of my favorites right now.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can come back healthy. I'm highly looking forward to it. But yeah, his season is over. Enter James Robinson. The Jets trade a 6th-round pick that can conditionally become a 5th-round pick for James Robinson. James Robinson resurrected from being completely irrelevant in Jacksonville for the last 4 games. He had lost his entire job and was officially just a handcuff to Etienne. Well, for those of you who are keeping the faith and held on to James Robinson, because you couldn't trade him more than likely. Yeah, I've got him in a league too, actually. Because you couldn't trade him. Well, your patience / lack of ability to get a trade done might actually get rewarded because he is a great choice for them, especially at that price point. James Robinson is a one-cut runner, and he is not Breece Hall. Let's be very clear. But that is exactly the type of system that the Jets are running, the exact system that he should be successful in. So it's pick a hole and go. And James Robinson is good at that when his mind is right and his body is right. He can pick a hole and go for you. And they're blocking reasonably well. Very quietly, though, the Jets also lost one of their starting linemen in the same game, and that is scary. So the general advice is Michael Carter probably gets the lead back job because he knows the playbook. Ty Johnson will probably catch some passes this week, but eventually we've seen a lot of Michael Carter play football. What is more than likely going to happen here is the same situation that we just watched, just to a lesser magnitude. Eventually it'll flip. James Robinson will probably be the 1A. Carter will still play, but Carter will eventually be relegated to a desperation flex. James Robinson will be a upper level flex more than likely moving forward. Mm-hmm. Corey Davis suffered an MCL sprain. He didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. I find it unlikely he's going to play in this, and you probably weren't playing him anyway, because we talked about the murdering that is Zach Wilson. There is no Jets pass catcher that is worth starting. Does anybody want to challenge me on this? Nope. Zero Jets pass catcher is worth starting. Anybody want to fight me on this?
I mean, the only thing, even then, I don't think I could go with a squeaky wheel for more. I wish I could.
I refuse. I refuse.
But I still. The more important thing that I care about is the bye week for the Jets is the 13th of November. That whatever that week is,
which is actually, by the way,
a perfect time to make sure you get James Robinson.
Funny you mentioned that date because I was going to bring this up before we left, and we'll do it on every show moving forward, probably at the beginning. You know what the trade deadline is for most fantasy football leagues, right? Most standard fantasy football leagues, the trade deadline for this year, it's the 14th of November. It's the 14th. So that's coming up, and that's why a lot of these trade questions that people love to lob at us, you got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks, homies. Get them in, because you got like it's gonna be. Now your league may be different,
and you could probably get Robinson for real cheap.
Right now you can.
Well, no, I'm waiting for that bye week because I bet you by then he will have. You've gotten to see a little bit of him. He'll start to get it, and that bye week is going to flip.
Yeah, but you have to hope that
he doesn't blow up beforehand.
He has he's averaging 5 carries per game.
You're hoping that he looks like crap for 2 weeks, and then the bye week hits.
But then you have to hope if you make that deal that he figures it out post bye week. And
it's more likely going to be part of a throw-in anyway, and that's a good throw-in you want.
But what if and I know where this is like splitting hairs, but what if the Jets decide, hey, we don't want to give him a 5th round pick. We're going to limit his carries. We're not going to get you to 600 yards.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen because they need to win. Like they're 5-2. Don't see them tanking. Don't see them trying to lose.
I think everybody wants their money
Zach Wilson,
by getting into the playoffs and whatnot. Yeah.
I was just surprised going back to Neil's question. Everyone wants to pound the table for somebody. I thought Jason was going to say like Braxton Berrios or something, but he surprised me. He didn't. So
Braxton Berrios would be the hilarious answer. I will say that because the Jets.
I was hoping you would say that because
that would have been very on brand. Actually, Jason, I'm disappointed in you. Braxton Berrios, you got to go 4 deep. Steelers at Eagles. Eagles -11 at home. Eagles are a good football team right now. Good news for
not a good matchup for the Steelers.
Yeah, it's not a good matchup for the Steelers. Pat Freiermuth has been limited, but he's going to play. We're not worried about that. And very quietly, they reactivated TJ Watt's 21-day window to return from IR. So, and they will take any help they can get right now. Where's Mike Manning when I need him? That's who I need right
Highly
now.
doubting it's this week, but I would bet next week he's ready to go.
Eagles, you'll have all your Eagles. They're healthy, and you're starting all your Eagles coming off the bye. Like, unless you're talking about Quez Watkins, but ain't nobody talking about Quez Watkins. Like, you're going to have all your normal Eagles. And also the Eagles, very, very interesting choice. 4th round pick up Robert Quinn from the Bears. Robert Quinn, 32 years old. So the Eagles get another sexy trade piece. Eagles are
they're scary.
Eagles are trying to win the Super Bowl, folks. It's 20. Remember
the
last
and now they're talking about Hunt as a potential.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not going to
know.
give up a 4th round pick, man. It's
I know,
not
but
happening.
Well, they just did.
Yeah, well,
Well,
exactly.
that's what he's
So,
saying. He's
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna give up another
yeah,
one.
they're not going to give up what other fourth round pick? Like,
The Eagles.
also, I don't know that anybody is going to give up a fourth round pick for Hunt. That's been my point from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's one thing to give up a sixth round pick conditionally, a fifth round pick for James Robinson. You start getting into the fourth, and dude, I'm not an NFL GM. I'm just telling you what their behavior pattern is. They clinch onto those fourth round picks and above because they don't want a band-aid that is Kareem Hunt. You're going to give up a fourth round pick to get a guy whose contract is expiring.
Isn't that Kareem Hunt? Or does he have?
That's what I'm. No, yeah, his contract is expiring. So why would I give up a fourth round pick
Okay.
to get Kareem Hunt, whose contract? So now I have to give up a fourth round pick and extend him. What if he doesn't play well? What do I want to do? Why am I doing this? Like, there's only a handful of scenarios where it actually would make sense. Now, if the Browns were willing to take a fifth or a sixth, this deal would have already been done. But it's the price tag that is.
I'm surprised they aren't shipping off like Gainwell or somebody or Scott even with
Why
the
would they
fifth.
They like Gainwell still.
I understand,
It was
but
on a
still,
rookie
and
deal.
Scott. No offense to Boston Scott, we love you, Boston Scott, but Boston Scott's not worth anything. Boston Scott.
it's just another depth.
if-
They
if-
aren't using
if the-
Hunt. I don't
If
understand.
the Eagles don't exist, Boston Scott's not rostered in the NFL.
That's fair.
That's my point. Like that's your issue, Jason. Like it's not the universe is not lining up to conspire against you personally. Okay, like that's not what's happening here. It's the Browns want full market value for an asset that I'm sorry, it's just not worth it. When I can go to other.
Sorry, it's also an asset that they are using. They're a run heavy team.
Moderately.
I know that Kareem Hunt's
Very
getting-
moderately using. I mean,
Well, no,
the dude
but that-
still
Still out
touches the
there,
ball.
like
What happens if Nick Chubb goes down this week?
Dearness
God
Johnson
forbid.
comes in.
Then they're not. Then and what if they've already traded Hunt? Then you're dealing with Dearness Johnson.
just Dearness Johnson, which they don't like. They like a
and Marlon
two-back
Mack.
system.
Marlon Mack off the practice squad.
Can't even do that because you signed.
No.
someone
They
else.
could re-sign him. They could sign him off the
I was just
Broncos
picking a name. I
practice
was
squad. They
picking
could do that.
The
Like,
first name that came in my head.
no, it's a good call. I get
So
it.
that's
and
why
it's
they're
realistic.
they're
Tevin
trying to say,
Coleman.
if we're gonna
Yeah,
trade
sure.
Kareem Hunt, we want to be compensated for it because we could be in deep. You know what?
That's what I've been saying for the last 2 days. Is
Yeah.
if they were asking for a fifth or a sixth round pick or lower, deal would already be done. We'd already be done. Or if they wanted a fourth in 2024, the deal would already be done. But
I'm
it's
gonna
not.
just breaking news. Mark Andrews is hurt.
Shocker.
That's,
Yeah.
Yep.
Just want to.
Not breaking news. That's what I looked at my watch.
That's
About
sad.
Well, I'm just
Oh,
whoever's watching this, not the game.
That's
Oh, yeah.
sad.
yeah.
I'm not cheering for
Three
that.
for 33 currently. 6.3.
I'm not
fantasy
cheering
points.
for any of that. That's sad. We like Mark Andrews.
I do like it because I have Isaiah Likely in Dynasty, but
Look, I'm not going to complain. I'm playing against Mark Andrews in multiple leagues. Okay, I'm not complaining about it, but like,
You're
I'm not
cheering
happy
for
about
I get
it.
What
Neither
about
am I.
you?
I'm not happy
10-3.
about it either.
Who do
I
you
just
think
wanted
is
to point
winning?
that out.
What's that?
I just
10-3 is the score. Who's winning?
Bucks.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We're almost at
uh,
the half.
We need to move on.
What? Yeah, getting to the half. That's exactly my point. We need to move on. Titans at Texans. Titans minus 3.5. Ooh boy. Ryan Tannehill is super questionable for this game. If he's not playing, only Derrick Henry is startable, and that might be the
But
case.
my
even
case
if he
anyway.
is.
Yeah.
Right,
That's,
and that might.
that's the case either way.
And then they also lost Kyle Phillips to IR. Poor little Kyle Phillips. Tried so hard. And then on the Texans side of the ball, Nico Collins is got a groin injury. Did not practice Wednesday. Highly questionable for this
Well,
game.
Mostly because they signed Tyron Johnson to the active roster. That
Yeah,
was
and those of you with a long memory may remember Tyron Johnson from
Chargers fan, baby.
yeah.
Chargers and then Raiders.
Polo gets it. Polo understands the show we do here. Commander, Washington football team at Colts. Jordan, contain your excitement.
Oh, it's contained.
The Colts the Colts are being given -4 at home. For the Commanders,
Nice.
you're likely not going to have Jahan Dotson again. Ron Rivera is saying even he doesn't believe that Jahan Dotson is going to play. Don't worry about it. You might have De'Ami Brown and Logan Thomas again.
Oh,
That's still a maybe. Still a maybe. Right. And it will be the Heineke experience yet again.
But the more important part of this is Jordan's favorite quarterback.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Jordan here. Now we're going to go to Jordan here. Matt Ryan has been injured and then benched, and it's a whole saga that we don't have time for.
Or care
But
about.
Sam
Except for
Ellinger,
Jordan.
Sam Ellinger will be starting, effectively moving forward. And they had, why is your coach in the media saying things like, we didn't do right by Matt Ryan. We promised him X, Y, and Z, and we didn't deliver. Why is he saying that in the media and not just directly to Matt Ryan in the facility?
You know who he's talking to? He's talking to Jim Irsay because he's on the hot seat.
Oh, because Jim Irsay won't take his calls anymore? Is that
I'm
why?
sure that I'm sure they're talking behind the scenes.
Well, Jim
But he
Irsay
wants
is a
to know a little
noted
bit
crazy
more.
person,
Hey,
so like.
I don't give a shit. Oh, shoot. I don't give a you know what.
You get
It's
one.
PG,
you get one.
It's PG-13, so you
I
get
got
one.
I got through the I.
It.
I got through the I. Didn't say the T. They're tanking. They're trying to get a better quarterback in this draft, just so they don't have to do a full rebuild. They have a decent enough roster, and they're saying, hey, what do we have in Ellinger? Can he be a QB of the future, or do we have to move on?
Or could he be a backup even?
Or could he be a backup?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I get it. I get it. You know, the future's not Matt Ryan. The future for Matt Ryan is probably working for NBC.
Because everybody and their mother
coaching at Boston College.
They've asked me why did they make this
Ellinger
move so
over-
early? They're
over
1-3-1. They played 5 out of their 6 division games by week 7. They're 1-3-1. I think it's over. I don't think this team's going to make the playoffs. You might as well move on.
I am worried about the pass catchers, but there's nothing you can do about it. You can't.
Of them,
you can't do anything with it.
Who are you going to play though?
I mean, you're going to play who you've been playing.
Yeah.
I'm
You
actually
don't
scared
have a
for
choice.
Pierce,
You don't. Okay, that's not actually what I thought you were going to do.
which
you
is
actually
why
surprised me.
I'm scared of
You-
Pierce and more willing to look at Campbell now.
You actually surprised me with that because I thought you were going to say Pittman's unstartable. Like,
Oh no,
like I literally
short
was
area targets. I'm looking at
I was
average depth of target.
waiting for it. Like I was waiting for it. I was actually going to end the show. Like I was literally going to end this show. We're done if that was where we were going to go. I'm just cutting this show off. Because it's like we're just done. I'm done. I'm not doing this with you again. Like, but I'm worried about all of them unilaterally.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Because we don't know what to expect. And
That's
I agree.
my point. We don't know what to expect.
But I would
It's
play the
uncertainty.
guys who you need to. I think Pittman and Taylor, you're going to have to start them. I would hold off on Campbell and hold off on Pierce.
Depends
and
what
the
your other
rest of them.
options are. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Of them,
risk
I'm
it.
playing Campbell over Pierce. Currently.
fair enough. I don't think anybody's realistically going to be in that scenario, but okay. If that's how you feel about it, I'm with you. I agree with what Jordan's saying though. You're probably starting Pittman, you're probably starting Taylor, and the rest of it, I don't want to start at all until we get clarity. I'm sure not all of them will be relegated to being useless, but I have to see Sam Ellinger pass the Tyler Palco competency test. Shout out. Yeah, I know Mike loves when I do this. So people don't remember who Tyler Palco is, but Tyler Palco famously couldn't snap a football in the NFL. He was that bad. So I need Sam Ellinger to pass the Tyler Palco competency test, please. And then he has to pass the Nathan Peterman competency test, which is can he throw it to his own team? He's got to pass both of those. And it's not my fault, Mike, that both of those guys played at Pitt, okay? I didn't do that to you. God did that to you. I didn't do that. I'm just here dropping truth bombs like normal, okay? I'm in so much trouble. Next time I see Mike, but we're just gonna move on. 49ers at Rams should be a fun game. Always is. 49ers -2 on the road. A little bit surprising for me, actually. You would think because it's a division game, they might give it to the Rams, but whatever. I don't work in Vegas.
And the fact that they're at home. Also surprising.
Yeah. So you got Deebo Samuel, hamstring injury, who's day-to-day is what they're calling him. I am terrified of what we talked about this at length. Deebo Samuel he's the big winner in real life from the CMC deal because he got the bag and now doesn't have to play running back anymore, but he got paid to do both jobs. Now he only has to do the one job. Congratulations, Deebo Samuel. You are the real life winner of this. Forget fantasy football. Let's just talk about real life. You win. You win, sir. Now in fantasy football, I'm terrified of Deebo Samuel right now. Brandon Ayuk is looking like the big beneficiary of the actual, receivers, quote unquote. And CMC, you're not going to have Christian McCaffrey and not use him. So I'm worried about Deebo Samuel's usage rate. And now this injury, I want to try and trade Deebo Samuel as quickly as humanly possible before he puts up another clunker. I want to get him off my team before the trade deadline. Find the sucker in your league who's still evaluating Deebo Samuel as a wide receiver 1 because he's not a wide receiver 1 anymore, guys. You got to be ready to cut bait on this. And also, weirdly, I would be looking to acquire Brandon Ayuk because I don't think people are aware that Brandon Ayuk's usage rate has gone up as dramatically as it has.
Except for maybe the Ayuk owner.
Maybe, and manager, please.
Oh yeah,
Manager.
sorry. Yeah, correct.
You're fine, but manager.
Or roster.
What's that?
Don't like
I
that
would
word.
say
No, that sounds
roster.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, roster I will accept. It's not grammatically correct, but manager is the approved term. And that's really the main note for the 49ers. But real quick, I know you want to talk about somebody that we haven't talked about, Jason. Go ahead. Who do you want to talk about? 49ers?
And it's because you guys just poo-pooed him so early, and it's Jimmy G as my start of the week for quarterback. I mean, the Rams coming off a bye. They have Ayuk. They have CMC. Both great weapons. They should be able to move the ball on. The Rams should be able to move the ball, forcing Jimmy G to throw. Great option for you. And the fact that their defense isn't healthy. So
Jordan, your body language is amazing today. It's
on point.
I'm
body
I'm
language
letting him
is-
get through it. I'm not trying to interrupt. I just want.
So that was really it.
No, he got to the end of it. That's why I waited to
it.
pipe up. He got to the end of it. I just wanted to point out Jordan does not agree with this.
Neither do you.
I-
It's fine.
Sorry,
It's not that
you know what?
You said start of the week, and this is where I always kind of go back and forth with you. In what context? Because if start of the week means a guy outside the top 12 in a 12-team league that I think you should be starting inside the top 12, I
Yes.
could maybe make that argument for you.
And
I
that's
could actually
that's what it is every week.
Yeah, because I could probably make that argument for you because inside the top 12 consensus right now, Derek Carr against the Saints is in there. Derek Carr is questionable. So if you want to have the argument with me about should I start Derek Carr versus Jimmy G, I'll have that argument with you. I'd argue it's pretty close, but there's other ones that are in there that I'm not as enthused by in the top 12. So again, it's not insanity, but I will say for the record, and I will say this for the record, I have Jimmy Garoppolo at QB 13 this week. So it's not a stretch this week. It's mostly because of things like Aaron Rodgers playing at Buffalo, Jared Goff showing you who he really is, Matthew Stafford being unplayable. It's all those guys that were in the preseason ahead of him.
Murray.
Kyler Murray, you got to go back to the well with Kyler Murray. As ugly as it is, you got to go back to the well with Kyler Murray. But there's other ones like Geno Smith has moved into the top 12. If you would have told me that in July, I'd have been calling around trying to get you committed to the funny farm. Like it's so real quick, let's continue on. Rams. Darrell Henderson has an illness. He's fine. He's playing. Kyren Williams is this conversation irks me. Kyren Williams is going to get activated. It's going to be a couple weeks before he is activated. And then we don't know what his usage is going to be at all. So I get a lot of questions about this, not just Jason talking about it today. In our Discord, we're dealing with this all day long.
Well, I deal with it every day. That's the only
Who
reason
should I
I'm
drop
today.
for Kyren Williams? Who should I pick up for Kyren Williams? The answer that I'm going to give you is
Nobody.
virtually, because you're probably not. Chase Edmonds. There, I found a name. Drop Chase Edmonds.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah,
Julio
scratch for your
Jones.
stash.
Yeah, like
Brees
that's
Hall.
yeah, Brees Hall. Like
You haven't dropped him yet.
Unless you have an IR spot.
yeah, unless you're in a keeper league, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and so Kyren Williams will have some kind of job, but I have no way of telling you what it'll be. It's such a mess. And then the one bright spot here, we've been talking about it for weeks. Van Jefferson has been designated to return from IR. I don't care about adding Van Jefferson. Although, if you wanted to add Van Jefferson,
Prefer him over OBJ.
yeah, for sure. I prefer him over a number of people because he is the deep threat. And the Rams desperately need their deep threat. It's killing them not being able to stretch the field right now. I'm hoping that Van Jefferson coming back actually opens it up for everybody else. So that's the good news. Van Jefferson, flexy kind of thing. If you're desperate at wide receiver, flex-ish type of deal himself. But I'm not really worried about Van Jefferson as it relates to him and of himself. I'm hoping he helps the rest of the Rams. Giants, Seahawks. Seahawks -3 at home. Jason, your boy, Daniel Bellinger, brutal. Fractured eye socket.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. And I would recommend to the people who are still listening.
Don't.
Don't Google that.
I haven't
You
seen it
don't-
yet. I'm doing it right
Don't.
now.
Oh,
Yeah,
This is
Jordan.
gonna be great. Great
Good luck.
reaction video.
Yeah, we'll get the real reaction once he sees it. Daniel Bellinger fractured his eye socket. It's like a boxing injury. Like it's not something that you see in football very often. He might have to have surgery. And if you saw when you see it, you'll know why they're saying he might have to have surgery. I'll be shocked if he didn't. He is not playing this week. That is not happening. He might be out for a while, folks, which is a shame because Daniel Bellinger was having a very nice rookie campaign, especially for a tight end. Kadarius Toney traded to the Chiefs for a conditional third and sixth round pick. I do not care. Kadarius Toney will have to learn the playbook. He will then have to compete for playing time with 5 other players, all of which I would argue are superior to him at this stage in their career, with the possible exception of Sky Moore and MVS. And actually, it's not even MVS because MVS knows the playbook. So, and Sky Moore on the long term, Sky Moore is highly preferable to Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney has struggled with what in his career? Learning the playbook.
Oh, being healthy.
Being healthy and learning the playbook. What are we doing? I've got more questions about Kadarius Toney. Anybody who thinks Kadarius Toney is going to be the new Tyreek Hill and put up Tyreek Hill numbers is going to be bitterly disappointed when they roster Kadarius Toney and then he's not even playing. Like, that's what it's going to be, folks. Hate to tell you. Like, also, it's not the same thing. Tyreek Hill did more than just catch 5-yard dump offs and make people miss. He was also a threat down the field. And he knew the playbook.
I'm patiently waiting for Jordan to see this because I have yet to see
I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was like, bro.
Well, and Jason, we could argue about Kadarius Toney if you like, but I don't find it to be a particularly productive conversation. Like, I know you liked. Yeah.
I like him. I know
you have different feelings than I do.
And you can find it on Twitter. I posted what my thoughts were on it. I think he could easily be a flex, just like Juju and the rest of them, because of the fact that he does make people miss. I mean, that was the big benefit for me for Tyreek Hill is the fact that you're shifty as all get out. If I can give you a jet sweep and you're going to take it, that would be a great move for him. He could solely do that over Hardman. I'd much prefer him over them to do that job. If you're doing jet sweep all day, I want him.
We're going to agree to disagree, and we're going to let this play out because I do not agree with that take at any level. I'm completely out on Kadarius Toney and would be telling people to stay far, far away from it. There's no value for you. We'll see in the fullness of time how it plays out. But Jason, stop looking up Daniel Bellinger video injuries and talk about Wan'Dale Robinson quickly.
Oh, God. Yeah. So clearly my start of the week because, he's the only option there. Now with Daniel Bellinger out, it's him and Barkley. And that means he's going to be fed against a decent matchup. I mean, granted, it is pretty tough. It's more of a volume play. I mean, the fact that he's going to see double-digit targets makes it worth it to me. I'm more than willing to play him. I'm expecting him to go double digits in fantasy because of the fact that he's probably going to see 12 targets, and that makes it easy.
You and I don't always agree. I wouldn't say we rarely agree, but we definitely have our disagreements. I 100% co-sign the Wan'Dale Robinson take this week. Get him in your lineup, folks. He's a flex.
So do I.
Okay, Jordan, click on that for me.
All right. While Jordan's doing that, we'll talk about the Seahawks real quick. DK Metcalf's x-rays on his knee were negative. Thank God for that. However, he's feeling better. I still do not believe he will be back in time for this game. So there's that for you. If you're rostering and playing DK on the reg, probably going to need another option for this week and possibly next week while he gets himself healthy. Real quick, 2 games left. Sunday Night Football, Packers at Bills. Boy, what a great game this looked like in July. And then we get here and you get this. Buffalo is a 10.5-point favorite at home, and why wouldn't they be? You will have all of your Bills. They are all playing. They will all be available to you. Can't say the same about your Packers. Allen Lazard hurt his shoulder in a brutal way last week. Has not practiced Wednesday. Did not practice Thursday.
There it is. That's the face you make.
Yeah, that is the appropriate face. That is the. Wish I could.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you were talking about actually seeing the eye socket, not like how he actually got punched in the.
No.
If you want,
I had to look up random eye socket injuries on Google, which was worse than what you just sent me. So.
Right. But yeah, no, that's going to take a minute. That's like a prize fighter injury. It's sad. But Allen Lazard is likely not going to play Sunday, and we will see where we get to moving forward. Realistically, that's the only one that you would be worried about for this game is Allen Lazard, because believe it or not, Allen Lazard has been a wide receiver 2 He's punching above just about everybody's expectations right now. He's been pretty good.
I mean, we kind of okay. Here's the question now: do you trust Dobbs enough to flex him?
I trust no one. I trust them to throw 40 dump offs to Aaron Jones and lose that game by 40. That's what I'm expecting to watch. I'm expecting to watch most of that game be dump offs to Aaron Jones and save me, Aaron, save me. That's my Aaron Rodgers impression for Sunday Night Football. It's also an impression of myself in 2 of my fantasy leagues where I have Aaron Jones. Save me, Aaron. Save me, Aaron Jones. Come on.
Please get in the end zone. That's all I want from you.
Don't get in the end zone. 15 receptions. Hook it up. Hook it up. Like, if you get 15 receptions for 20 yards, I'll call it a victory. Like, that's fine with me. Because they have no one else to throw to. That's why they're linked to all these crazy free agents, Chase Claypool, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, they also just need another consistent target.
They need anything they can get.
Yeah.
They're looking ugly. I appreciate Aaron Rodgers' confidence saying we love being the underdog because we're gonna pants them, and I'm like, I love you for that. I think you're deluding yourself, but I think you're deluding yourself in a big way.
Especially this week, yeah.
I love the confidence. Last game, Monday Night Football, Bengals, Browns, Battle of Ohio. Fun game actually.
They're giving them 3 points.
They're giving Cincinnati 3 on the road. I kind of get it because the Browns defense is really, really, really bad. Now that line was also set before the Jamar Chase injury, and this just happened, folks. This was today. It was announced that Jamar Chase is dealing with a hip injury, that he is expected to be sidelined for 4 to 6 weeks. He is likely going to go on IR, and that's why we were talking about earlier in the show, T. Higgins to the moon. And then Hayden Hurst gets an upgrade. Tyler Boyd gets an upgrade. Everybody gets an upgrade with this because there's going to be volume to go around. Maybe not Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
The only one who doesn't get an upgrade is Joe Burrow.
Yeah. It's so outdated that I actually had Hayden Hurst as a sit of the week, and I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, we're not going to do the Hayden Hurst sit of the week. We're just going to move past it because it's not relevant anymore. You can't do that anymore. And for the Browns, God, that defense is so bad. But the only real note is David Njoku, high ankle sprain, expected to be sidelined for 2 to 5 weeks. That is a shame because it's like tight end was tight end was going so well, right? That we needed another tight end injury. So is there anybody else you're interested in from the Browns? Because to me, I don't think it's
Chubb are both playing, right?
But it's not. I don't mean that. I mean like with Njoku out, do you think anybody benefits? I've seen a lot of Harrison Bryant questions.
Nope.
I don't want Harrison
Pharaoh
Bryant
Brown if he plays.
To be honest with you, you know where I think. You know what I'm going to tell you. DPJ.
Yeah.
DPJ.
I think
DPJ gets some extra targets out of this. DPJ, I think people aren't paying attention to.
Yeah, that's a logical choice.
DPJ is the one that I think gets, and DPJ was already quietly putting together a nice little fantasy season in the background. Nobody paying attention to it. He's had 2 bad games, but those were at the beginning of the year. Recent production it's not amazing. He's not scoring touchdowns yet, but he's getting the volume. And so that's the final takeaway here. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to clear out of here to go watch the end of this, we'll call it game that they're playing on Thursday night. Can we just be done with Thursday Night Football? That's my big takeaway for the week. And it's been my takeaway for 2 years of my life. But can we just be done? Why do we have to suffer? Why is life suffering, guys? All right, that's too dark. That's too dark for the end of this show. That's more like the show Steve and I used to do. That's more like that show. But anyway, we'll go around the horn here. Jason, thank you as always, sir, and welcome back. I'm glad you had a week away with your family, and we missed you. Thank you for coming back and putting up with our abuse.
That's all I'm good for.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's all you're good for. I wouldn't say it's all you're good for.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
It is how we leverage you. Is that a failing of us? Probably. Honestly, probably. We're not exactly the nicest people. We're very nice most of the time, but we are kind of like, we all grew up watching the movie Mean Girls. I think we all have our own little Mean Girls.
They're all plastics. It's fine.
We are plastic. Jason, any final thoughts and where can the people find you?
Find me that FF Nerd everywhere. Sunday mornings I'll be doing my start sit back here Monday for the waiver wire show. And outside of that, I mean, Fantasy Life app like usual. And we have a halftime show coming up, so I'm not on it, but you guys should definitely watch it.
We do. I was going to get to there. Jordan, final thoughts and where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Donovan Jordan like usual. Got nothing to note. Thanks for another great Thursday, and Leafs game starts at 10:30, so that will be on there, and we'll be watching
Perfect.
that together, everybody.
Perfect.
Whoa.
Love
More
it.
importantly, get your roster of the people this way. Roster of the people mug, because that's a great way to support us. Shop.importantnonsense.com.
All right. And I'm Neil Smith, as always. And my final thought is right there. Right there, folks. Join us on Discord, especially you folks who like to come in here and ask us trade questions. We can give you much higher quality answers in a non-time gated way on Discord. $1 a month gets you in. We will literally walk you through how to set up Discord. And then when you're in, we will teach you how to use Discord. It is not nearly as complicated as people think it is. And frankly, it's a tool that you should get used to because they're grabbing a whole lot of market share right now. And it's free. The Patreon subscription is not free, but Discord itself is free. And it's a great tool if you're not using it. So hit us up for that. We've had a lot of people sign up, actually, and I'm very grateful to all of you. So to everybody who's signed up and is now participating, we've actually had more people in there than we've ever had before. It's busy as all hell in there, actually.
You're welcome.
And yeah, no kidding. And we're grateful to all of you who are dealing with us. But if you want your questions answered in real time, and you don't want to, we love having you on here. If you want to get your answer on a Monday, for example, Discord's the best way to get us. That's where you can find me at nonsense_Neil. But the best way to find me is on our Discord. And it's probably the best way to find just about all of us at this point. So we're happy to help you. And with that, good luck this weekend, everybody. By the way, can you believe it? We're officially halfway through the fantasy season. Good luck, everybody. Big week this week. So with that, keep up the nonsense.